Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 552. We are live tonight. It is Monday, October 30th. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Rob.
Hello.
And Peter.
Forever Destron.
And Phil.
Weren't we just here?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, we had to shuffle some schedules around because apparently someone decided to take an extended vacation here, so...
What a jerk.
Right? So
This is very deja vu feeling.
Is it as cold in Tennessee right now as it is in Kansas City?
It is cold today, yes.
I
don't know if
if
it's
you
as
like
cold
got back from Florida and you're just like, oh my god, what's going on?
It was okay Saturday. Like, we got back Friday night, and it was still fine. Saturday, it was fine. Yesterday, it started to get cold, and right now it's 40 or 39 outside, which, you know, it's not freezing yet, but you know, it's cold. So,
Yeah.
I assume Peter's still sweating when he goes outside.
It's 80 degrees out right now. It's 10 p.m. and it's 80 degrees out. Like 60% humidity. No, it's not nice. It sucks. Florida sucks. Burn Florida to the ground.
Suck.
But you know what happened in Florida last weekend? TFcon.
Is there a convention or something?
Not last weekend. 2 weekends ago.
Last
weekend, like a week and a half ago?
Not this past weekend, but last weekend.
The previous weekend.
That was the last one.
No, don't. No, that's semantics. Semantics. I went to a convention.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. I was there, and you were there, and you were there, and oh, you know who wasn't there? Fearless leader over here wasn't there. Yeah.
That guy. You know why?
That guy.
Because he's a piece of shit.
He's afraid of Florida. He's afraid of Florida. I don't blame him for being afraid of Florida. Florida sucks. We love you, Lucas.
I mean, I've made this argument successfully to my wife a couple times now when they've had TFcon in LA to go. It's like, oh, you know, let's take a trip to Disney and I'll just go to a couple days of convention. So apparently my wife is caught onto this and she's like, no. I don't, I'm not going to your Transformers conventions anymore, Lucas. Fool me once, you know, so.
Time to get a new wife.
I brought my whole family and they didn't go to any theme parks or have any fun. I forced them to do nothing but Transformers. It was outstanding.
Yeah,
it was. I was living
labor for you.
Yeah, I put them to work. I was living the dream.
Yeah.
See, when my wife came, they like literally, my wife never set foot on the dealer floor. She's like, like she's like, if you need me, the pool's right over there. Like me and the kids rented a cabana or whatever at the pool. So.
Nope. Mine worked the table.
Lucy was table goblin for most of the weekend. She hid under the table, and like she was doing that to begin with, just because she's 13 and it's a place to lay down, right? And I told her, I was like, you should take your hand out, like you know, you'll see like sometimes like at the Chinese restaurant, right? They'll have the little cat coin boxes where the little hand comes up and brings the coin in, you know, as the piggy bank. I was like, you should do like that to the toys, because one of our friends was set up at our table and he had some of the like loose bins out in front of the table and people would dig through it. And so she started doing that, and then she was just grabbing people, and she did that for hours both days. So that's how she entertained herself. I have no clue what my wife was doing. She was just reading, I guess. She likes to read. She's a nerd. They did go to like a show at Disney Springs. A Cirque du Soleil show one evening. But for the most part, they just milled around and, you know, just chilled.
Not
So they
good
didn't
COVID.
hate it. Yeah. But I mean, lots of people did go to Disney both before and after from our group. You know, so
Mhm.
like if you're, well, I mean, your wife wouldn't have had anybody to go with at that time, but if she wanted other cringe nerds to go with before or after, could have made that happen.
Did anyone go to SeaWorld?
No, we were right next to it, like literally.
Literally like
No,
connected.
no
I
one,
think.
no one goes to SeaWorld.
They have roller coasters though, it turns out, which surprised
They
me.
do, they do,
Which
but
is all I
people
care
don't go
about.
to SeaWorld out of principle after the whole Blackfish thing.
Oh,
It's just
I don't know
crazy
what that
to me
is,
that
but
like
that's another day.
there's
It's-
something
it's-
in Florida that like people avoid out of principle.
Yeah, it's the there was a documentary about a decade ago that came out talking about how the orcas are all abused at all of the
Oh.
Busch SeaWorld parks. So then Anheuser-Busch sold all their parks to someone else, some venture capital people, and it didn't solve anything because it's not going to solve anything. And and then the pandemic happened. So just gate entry stuff is down at SeaWorld.
Well,
My
yeah,
problem.
like when they were originally going to do the convention in Orlando, wasn't the hotel like right by Universal?
In 2020, I think maybe.
Yeah, the 2021, like I think it was going to be, was it the DoubleTree or was it, what was?
This was the DoubleTree this time, and it
Yeah,
was
but I
is
think
DoubleTree.
there's another DoubleTree, and one is by Universal and the other one's by SeaWorld, I think.
Double
Right?
tree.
Yeah, because I
This
saw
place
some
was
people,
weird.
I saw people on Facebook, I guess, getting confused and going to the other one.
whoops.
So yeah,
There's a lot of hotels in Orlando. You like there's a lot of DoubleTrees. There's a lot of Hiltons. There's a lot of Marriotts. You need to be specific about which one you're going to.
And even then, your GPS doesn't know how to get you actually into the place. If you go to the spot it tells you to go to, at least on Google Maps, it's a closed off gate. And so we actually, technically, I kind of went to SeaWorld because we turned around inside like their entrance thing because that's the first right you could make after missing the hotel. And then
Yeah.
come back and you'll find where the fuck to go into the parking lot.
It forces you to miss the first one, then you have to go around the block, but you have to cut through an alley, and then there's like ropes and things. It was
I
stupid.
went a different way.
Okay.
But like we were confused once we found the entrance to the parking lot because there's two gates to actually get to any parking spots. And then everywhere in the lobby area are signs that say no parking, fire lane, no parking, fire lane. And we found out later that means you just can't park in front of that sign. You can park in between the signs because that's what everyone did, because how the fuck else are you supposed to go to the lobby and actually get something to go through?
Okay. This is Florida. There are no actual rules. When the cops yell and scream at you, you say, okay, and you pay attention for the 5 seconds that the cops are paying attention. And the cops get distracted by something. Ooh, shiny crime. Let's go harass someone. Then they go harass someone, and you keep doing what you're doing. They won't be back. Cops are dumb. Especially
Yeah.
in Florida.
there you go.
So yeah, that was just, the place was weird. That layout is weird. And then it was more like a hotel. I mean, it was nice. It wasn't like, like a Roach Motel by any means. But, it's more like a motel because it was all external. There's no like interior halls. It was just this big square and all the pools and stuff were in the middle. And like there was like some putt-putt and a couple other things to do if you wanted. I have no idea how you actually got balls or clubs for any of that or if it costs money. I'm never tried. But
Well, there was a big tower also in the middle that I walked past every day but never actually went in. And that was like a normal hotel.
Yeah.
building.
but none of us were in that.
Nope. None of us were in that. And
I got
you
the
could
feeling that
tell.
was like a business conference area or something where people wouldn't want
Right.
to go outside.
You could tell which part was the old resort, and you could tell that the tower was a newer addition, and the convention center was a newer addition, and the front lobby was built out bigger than originally, it had been. It wasn't bad. It was a good location.
Yeah, it
But you
ended up,
could-
like at first I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But I got okay with it. It did
Yeah.
suck though. I was literally the opposite corner from the convention. Most other people were at least a little closer, if not right next to it. I
I
feel
was
like
right next
most.
to it.
I feel like most people were right next to it. Like maybe those filled up first or something. But they put me way out at the far corner. But my fat ass needs to walk anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, the other event going on there that weekend was something for the League of Women Voters. And it was just like those two demographics, like there's no Venn diagram, at least in like visual appearance. It was.
I wonder where those.
Very...
I mean, you just need a room for 5 women in Florida for that.
In
It's
Florida,
fine.
yeah, I'm surprised the riot cops didn't come and shut down the League of Women Voters. Just
Yeah.
like, what, voting in Florida? No.
By women.
Suffrage ain't over yet. Not down here.
I mean, I
Did
feel like
did
no
your
matter,
husband give you permission to be here?
I feel like no matter what, like a Transformers convention and anything else, like probably won't go together, unless it's like, you know, Comicon or something like that. I remember TF Expo that when we did it at the Adams Mark, they had a I think it was like a women's like a hairstyling convention or something like that. Like they had a bunch of like beauty products and wigs and different things like that, and it was like just that.
Did you get a fancy new do?
No, I did not. But it was
How do you think he got that long hair? That's a weave.
Yeah, the long hair came later.
like there was no crossover. Yeah, that's true. But there was no crossover in the demographics or whatever of the two shows.
Well, one of the things they had at the show was a panel where they talked about new third-party products.
Whoa. We also had a panel that talked about crazy Transformers merchandise and crazy Beast Wars merchandise. Peter, do you know anything about either one of those panels?
No evidence exists that those panels actually happened, so no.
Actually, a lot of evidence exists that those panels happened. At least one of them, because people were recording Rick throwing toilet paper into the crowd like streamers, and people were fighting over it. Not fighting.
I have photos of that. It's pretty good.
Rick is a good showman.
You know, when Anna did her panel, she actually came onto the show and, you know, kind of did a synopsis of those panels. But somehow, apparently, we can't do the same for Rick and Peter, huh?
I would love to do that, but I don't have a copy of the panel or whatever.
That you made?
Yeah, I'd probably threw it away or something. Because
I mean, like, it was just... the one I went to was the merchandise one because that was before the dealer room opened. So, and I worked on the floor the whole weekend. And it was, for those curious, it was just there's Rick throwing some toilet paper for our video.
You can
watchers
see the stream across the top.
Yeah,
like it was a really good picture. He caught one in motion.
Yeah, it was a great shot, Peter.
But it was just like all the dumb crap that got merchandised. Most as part of, I think, the 2007 movie.
Yeah, first movie.
Like, just did you know rock climbing gear got merchandised? Because it did.
Yeah,
did
the carabiners. I have all that.
Did you know that they made real fishing stuff for it for some reason?
They did fishing kits for the first 3 movies, actually. I have it all in the garage. I like how Rick kept looking over at me like, do you have this one? Do you have this one? Do you have this one?
Oh, gosh.
What was the sandals, like the punch-out sandals?
Those were neat. Those were from China. It was like a floor mat or something, but you like stepped into it and popped the sandals out, the flip-flops out of Shockwave's face from the 3rd movie.
It is very odd.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, why does this exist?
Yeah. Chinese stuff, you got to wonder, though, is it an actual product, an actual licensed product, or is it just something that got made? Because there are no rules when it comes to a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
And Peter, you were telling me one thing there. He was talking about, Rick was there during some of that time, and he like stopped a speaker from getting made because he's like, this is stupid. There's no point in this. But you were telling me like they actually went ahead and they still made like 2 or 3 other speakers, just not that one character.
Yeah.
So he was not very successful.
Well, they didn't stop the whole line, but they stopped the one character because they were going to make a Megatron 2 foot tall or 3 foot tall.
He thought it was dumb that they were making Megatron over Soundwave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they made other non-Soundwaves.
They Yeah, they made Optimus, and they recolored it into Magnus. And then they released the heads by themselves, so you can get the big giant 3-foot tall one. They were on BBTS for a couple of years. They eventually got clearanced out because they were like $1,000 or something ridiculous initially. Can you believe that in 2000? I think it was 2008, 2009. Can you believe that they didn't sell at $1,000 a pop?
I can't believe they sold
like
at all.
high-end speakers?
No. These were USB speakers that plugged in, and it was like the speaker itself was only the Optimus head, but it attached to a 3-foot tall body, so you could have a 3-foot tall non-transforming, non-posable Optimus Prime in your room, and like, hey, what's that? That's really cool. I remember Transformers. Like, it's not just that; it's a speaker. Listen to how shitty it is, and it was $1,000.
Terrible.
So
Dude,
did you end up getting it on
How
sale?
else are you going to listen to Linkin Park?
Yeah, you want it to crawl in your skin.
Did
Hang
you,
on.
end
Peter,
up
did you
getting
ever
it
get
on
any of
sale?
those?
Yeah.
I actually missed that.
So, yeah.
You call yourself a collector.
I know.
Right.
And
Nick probably
the
has
dealer,
it.
Nick
much
probably
like last
doesn't.
year, the dealer room was also popping again this year.
It was
So
insane.
If you brought stuff to sell, you did pretty well. If you didn't do well, you need to fix your prices, because it should have went well. I didn't bring a lot because I was going on the cruise afterwards, and Orson doesn't live that far from me, and we pass him for holidays anyways to go to in-laws. So anything I didn't sell, he was going to take back. But I only brought one box of stuff, and it was a big box. But I sold all of it except one item. And our friend brought 5 tubs of loose figures, of mostly loose, some boxed. He was down to 1 tub by the end of the weekend. I mean, that's insane. I mean, granted, like none of that was like stock we bought, right, to sell. So it's just stuff we were done with, which you don't really care as much about how much you get for it in those cases. And Orson, he sold, I don't know, probably 70% of his stuff as well, something like that. I mean, he'd be able to tell us the exact number, but it was, teardown was like 20 minutes, if that. It was really quick.
But that's where I feel like you guys do it right, because there are a lot of people that bring some like high-end, high-price stuff, that or stuff that may be overpriced, right? And then it doesn't move, and they complain about it or whatever. Whereas like if you guys are bringing slightly used stuff and pricing it right.
Yeah, I mean, I had some like old third-party stuff that had been sitting on eBay and not selling, and I sold it for what I would have gotten after eBay fees, and I didn't have to deal with shipping, so like it was very cheap.
Right.
It was. I saw some of the stuff I was selling elsewhere on the floor, and my stuff is $20-$30 cheaper. But it's gone now, and I wouldn't have gotten any better on eBay at the end of the day, and had to deal potentially with somebody like complaining about something. So, Peter, how much did you sell of your stuff percentage wise?
We sold 2/3 to 3/4 of everything that we brought. It was delightful. Unfortunately, the boy bought some of our friends' stuff, so he brought that here. Get out of here! Get out of here! You're making noise. Anyway,
Idiot.
Jeez. So, and then he didn't have cash. He's like, I need cash to buy things that I don't need from your friend that you could have just picked up at any time from down the street. And so now he's grounded. Now you're grounded. Yeah, you're grounded.
Not only could he have
He didn't
picked it
know
up
that, but
from
he
your
is.
friend,
He is totally grounded now.
Double
but
secret
you also
grounding.
have it yourself.
Yeah, it'd been funny if you had it
been
for sale, Peter, and he bought it from someone else instead.
What's messed up is one of them was a scrap heap from the 2010 Reveal the Shield line. He bought that from somebody else. The other one was a wreck gar from the Generations line 2010, and he bought that from somebody else.
Did he buy them from Walker? Because I know he was. Yeah, because I knew he was having a Junkion purge, and he had a.
This is why he's grounded.
Oh man,
hey, these things you couldn't sell at your table. I need to borrow money from you so I can buy these things from your friend's table 15 feet away.
He had better prices than you.
And he had upgrade kits on those.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was big into the upgrade kits.
Yep. You can look at me all you want. You're still grounded. Yes.
I remember I had some of those, the Made in Japan kits. I don't know if that's what Walker had on his. Was it?
He had the Junkion Blacksmith production versions. I had the Made in Japan resin kits. I still have them. I never painted them. I started to paint them and was like I'll get around to it.
Ones.
Okay.
But I only got like 1 or 2 of the kits or something. You know, I didn't get them all.
I got every variation with all the head permutations and all that fun stuff, and I got them unpainted because you could save a lot if you bought it in bulk. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally gonna. Nope.
Totally. I've learned. I hope a lot of us have, as we've gotten older and older and older, learn to be honest with yourself on what you're really gonna bother with, and what you know you're never gonna get to, and and put a time limit on things like, you know what. I've gotten some stuff like I would like to do this with it. I was like, I realize I might not, and I'm honest with myself, and I'll give myself a year. And if I don't, it's like I should just get rid of this, But it's good to be honest with yourself.
That's why it's like, and one of the reasons I was glad that I traveled for that convention is I didn't have a ton of room to bring stuff back with me, because there was a couple tables with Gundam kits, and I was like, ooh, Gundam kits. I was like, no, I got like 6 I still need to build, and yeah, Gundam kits are the ultimate like. Oh yeah, that's great. I can't wait to get that. I put that together. It's like 5 years later. It's still just collecting dust because I just haven't had the time to build that kit, let alone the 4 other kits I've got in line ahead of it.
I think I sold my Flame Toys kits to Anna. I was like, here, I'm just never going to build this. It's just not gonna happen.
Now it is your burden.
Right, exactly.
I was looking into buying some Zoid kits, but they were already put together. So I was like, no, I don't want that.
So my earlier attempt to get us on topic, Phil
I was
said
gonna
no,
say,
not yet. Should we get on topic?
Third party, like they used to have these really cool upgrade kits, but now they do their own figures or something, and there's a whole panel devoted to them. Is that what I hear?
That's right. That is right. If you are watching along, I'll drop the 2005 link.
Dang it!
I put it in our YouTube chat and also put it in our private chat, so you guys can pop that open.
Where is my thing? Share screen. Gosh darn it!
So, do we want to go through everything, or do we just want to talk about the stuff we care about? Because if that's so, I'm basically just looking at the masterpiece stuff for me.
There we go. All right, I got it up. Yeah. Which one do you want me to go to?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask. Do we want to talk? Do we want to just go through everything and we'll just go quickly?
There's a good chunk of even the cast who likes the legend stuff, so yeah. I think we should at least touch on it a little bit.
All right, well, let's just go through it then. So the first one here was a new company called Mechanical Skull Studio, and they're doing like a deluxe-sized Armada Starscream for some reason.
Why
it looks kind of like
that?
I don't know. I get the feeling this is one of those that the company will make 1 to 2 figures and then we'll never see them again. Just because this looks like a finished piece, so I think it might actually come out. But that's my guess on it. I don't understand the incentive for that.
It might be one of those ones that was in development hell forever, and now they're just like, we did it. Oh, we're way too late.
Yeah, I mean, not to say I'm sure it's nicer than the Hasbro one, but like, right. Whatever they're charging. Like, you can get the Hasbro one for $25, so...
I mean, this will be way better, I'm sure, unless the transformation is a nightmare. It looks nice for what it is, but I just still don't understand. So, the next was Collection Space, another new company that I don't understand. Well, I guess I understand this figure, I just don't want to understand it. It's Bumblebee robot figure. It's a girl action figure, robot action figure, done in Bumblebee colors with a VW bug that attaches to her back. I
feel like this is why we need to have Anna on here, because she could explain it all.
Like, I know a lot of people just like, cute
Anna,
girl
explain
robot
these
figures.
Things in the chat.
But this feels like another one and done type company, but I could be wrong.
I do love in the
I don't understand this
how
market.
They always. It's a female character, so of course we have to pose her with her butt.
Mm-hmm. So. Gotta do the sexy pose.
Well, yeah. How else is Serge gonna know to buy it?
Anna says she wants it so bad, so there you go.
That sounds right. So maybe this one ends up getting a few more.
Toys?
This is the only one I remember, but I also haven't. So
I
yeah,
mean,
it's
I was gonna
it's
say
technically
I
a
feel like you could do
transformer.
this. Yeah.
But it all detaches and folds up on her back. Like, it's not really. It's just a robot hidden underneath, kind of like most RC figures, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that you could do a fair amount of Transformers this way, though, right? Like,
Yeah. Just make a robot with a car shell over them. It's basically Beast Wars Neo, the entire line.
yeah. Well,
So, yeah,
you could have it where you could have the B figure and then have the car, so you could display both.
pretty much. Which that's what I guess really makes it confusing for me why it exists. Like, they just wanted, I think, a Bumblebee action figure that was a girl. So just make that and leave it alone. The car seems like it's literally tacked on.
Ron says if Hasbro did this, people would freak out. He's like, oh wait, they did.
Yeah. And, I guess for what it is, it looks very articulated, but Anna's very into it. Is this something Catherine would be into as well? I know they run similar tastes. I don't know.
They were also saying that the Armada Starscream was legend scale, so I suppose if it's legend scale, there you go.
It's 10 centimeters tall, which I think comes out to around, it was like 10 or 11 centimeters tall, which comes out to around 4 inches, which I took to be deluxe scale.
That's
kind of like the one we got from Hasbro.
Small deluxe.
Yeah. So they're doing their own scale as well, then, maybe. I don't know.
We'll allow the people in the chat to just be wrong. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what do we have next?
King toys?
King toys
Dinobots?
No, these are just... Are they Dinobots? To me, they just looked mostly new.
They're not Dinobots. Like, so it's like the Predaking, where they're the Dinobots. Yeah. You have the 5 Dinobots. The 5 dinosaurs that the Dinobots all turned into, but their own sort of take on them. And I don't think we've seen colored versions of them yet. They had it on display, I think, at a Chinese show the weekend before TFcon. I think they've got like 2 or 3 that they've got like actually physically sculpted. But it's neat looking. Again, it's something that kind of looks like Dinobots, but not quite, and also looks very pointy.
They're huge.
Yeah.
If I'm like, there's no measurements with these, but when they show them in pictures with real things, they look like they're pretty freaking large. Like the Swoop, it just has a huge wingspan.
Yeah.
Which usually Swoop is the small character of the bunch, and that is not a small Swoop toy, but there's looks like a pretty obvious like slag version in there.
Yeah, you got like I said, the 5 dinosaurs. The Dinobots turn into a T-Rex, Triceratops, a Brontosaurus, a Stegosaurus, and a Pterodactyl, Pteranodon. And then you've got a Spinosaurus as the 6th one of like the big scale. And then I think they've got like 2 small Ankylosauruses that make the feet, sort of like how the Predaking had 2 wolves that made the feet for that one.
Oh, this is another combiner, like Predaking. Yep. So they're making the Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, they actually have a prototype of the Beast. Like at whatever show, like you said.
Yeah, the Chinese show.
In China, yeah.
Yeah, but you're right, Rob. That Swoop just looks like a freaking behemoth.
Yeah. Talib says that they believe they're doing a legend scale version of this set as well. Again, just like they did their Predaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks really cool.
It looks really nice, but I have no need for it.
Oh, yeah, no. But, I mean, I think that, like, if you're going in that route, like, I know Catherine picked all those up. Like, they looked like really neat display pieces. So I think, like, if this is the focus of your collection, I mean, they look pretty darn cool.
I find it interesting that, their Predaking was a pretty big departure from G1, both aesthetically and in some of the members. And this feels like this is even more of a deviation because, there's Dinobots that don't belong and, some extra things and even more stylized, I feel, than even the Predaking was. So,
yeah, everyone fought so hard to get closer and closer and closer to either toy accuracy or cartoon accuracy, and then Kang Toys is like, you know what? No. We just do whatever we want. It's all pointy and sharp. It all looks like, was that series? Zoids? It's like Zoida King
It's very
and
Zoids-ish.
Dinozoids. Have fun.
I mean, the fact that they're doing this tells me that their Predaking must have sold well enough that they feel they can do another set. So,
I mean, if the
kudos to
people
them.
that love them, yeah, they really like them. So game on, go for it.
Definitely.
Yeah, Catherine spoke very highly of it, but I think, to your point, Rob, then she got to a point where she's like, I don't know what to do with this big monstrosity of a toy in my collection.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
And this is why Legends are a thing, because then you're like, oh, well, I guess if they're making Legends version, I'll just get that instead.
This is America. We can all just get bigger houses. Just get more rooms.
Idiots.
God.
If you're poor, why don't you just buy more money?
Jeez. America.
All right. Next was Make Toys, and all they had was their
Toys?
Slipstream.
What?
It was their Slipstream exclusive, which is the one mold that they have anymore and make 8,000 variations on. That was already sold out.
You be nice. You be nice to Make Toys. One of these days, they're going to make enough money to finish some stuff. It's going to happen. I have full confidence. It's going to happen. I'm not letting the dream die.
We can hope. I know that there have been rumors to try to get the rest of the headmasters.
The headmasters, yeah.
Going, with their designs or picking them up and resuming them. Some people said that they were getting like incoming soon notices or something.
Yeah. Yep. There were emails in either late July or August that said like it's coming this month, and then just radio silence. Which
or not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in. Let me give you my money.
I feel like we would have heard at BotCon either formally or informally if they were really like in the mail. Which TFcon. What'd I say?
BotCon. You said the other thing.
Oh man, I miss BotCon. Actual BotCon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we would have heard, and we didn't hear anything like that, which tells me it is not officially happening yet. But I'd love to see it. I mean, who wouldn't? Or everybody can just make fucking Devastators again for the fourth Devastator War. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert for later on.
Right.
Do you like green and purple? Boy, have I got some toys for you.
Yeah. So there's another new company.
Is this another Legends thing? Robot Toys?
It's another new company. To me, it looks like Legends. I don't see sizes with it. They're doing a Beast Wars and Megatron and Primal.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool.
It's another. I wonder if they'll get more than 3 figures out. I did like that their Primal is named Caesar. Little Planet of the Apes reference there. They're kind of like Cybertronic for anybody that hasn't seen them yet or whatever. They are more metallic looking and not animal looking exactly, but.
Yeah, Ron says they're legend scale.
Okay.
I mean, they look Legends, so.
Oh, is Ron Talib?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And next up was Metagate, who has their what's her name from the Bumblebee movie? Shatter. Congratulations on them to managing the triple changer on that. I have their Terrasaur that they did, and it's not a perfect figure by any means, but the fact that they made a Terrasaur that is pretty screen accurate in both modes, because I would have said that's kind of impossible. How do you do it? And that's one way to do it, right? It's how they did it. I think it's fairly clever in that. It's not a smooth transformation, but I still think it's pretty clever. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think that's only their second release, unless maybe they had a couple other things that I missed. But
they have that Drift that I don't know.
And then a Drift as well.
Yeah, if that came out, a Age of Extinction Drift with the helicopter and Bugatti mode, and I've heard a lot of people say very, very nice things of that. The pictures I've seen look great.
All they showed here
pretty darn good. Like both the car mode and the plane mode actually look like
on Shatter.
Decent. Yeah, on Shatter.
I get the feeling I thought maybe the plane mode pictures were selectively taken, but there's one showing where you can see the underwing pretty well. I think they probably did pretty good given what it's trying to do. It's pretty tough. And then they showed this white drift there as well, which I assume is a repaint if they have one out, but they don't show a helicopter mode with it. I remember somebody did the triple changer of drift with a helicopter mode that was a joke. It was terrible, and it didn't look good, and it didn't hold together well. I don't know if that was Metagate or another company though.
I thought that was Metagate, but I thought that was like people were like, "Oh my god, this helicopter looks terrible," and then you look at the stills of Age of Extinction, you're like, "Oh, that's how he looked in the movie."
Oh yeah. Ron is saying it is Metagate, and they're the ones that did the drift repaint as Bludgeon as well. I thought the color scheme looked really, really good on that mold. I don't know that it's something I'll pick up, but I do like Bludgeon's color scheme a lot.
I don't think I've seen the Bludgeon version of that. I'll have to look that up.
Well, apparently they're doing a white drift as well. I cannot tell what the hell that head sculpt is.
No, I can't either.
Yeah. Next was Half the Battle Toys. I feel like Half the Battle, isn't that the company that talked about doing a transforming sound wave thing for like 4 or 5 years at TFcon, and like it just never happened?
I thought they were going to do a Transformer G.I. Joe third-party thing.
That's what I was saying. That's what I meant. The sound wave kiss tank is what I meant. Sorry.
Oh, I thought this was like a Hound Vamp thing that they showed a prototype for. I don't know.
Either way, they didn't talk about any of that this year.
They're focused on their little guys.
They're calling them nanobots. They're just little action figures.
I'm assuming that they've been selling well if they are focused on that.
Yeah, they've been selling really well. Anna has a bunch of them, as I recall, and they are scaled to work with your Titans and your Arcs and your Nemesis, and they're like seriously this tall. They're like a centimeter tall tops, and they're posable, and they're cute. And you can
have a
paint
picture.
them.
They have a picture next to one of their thumbs, and the cliff jumper is the height of his thumbnail.
That's
and he does not have long nails, so
yeah.
But it looks like their actual transforming figures, I guess, have never came out, and I guess they've given that up. I don't know. They made a big Chaos Hammer as well for Unicron. That looks pretty neat. Not something I need, but it does look, or for Studio Cell, I should say.
Yeah, not the big one.
Yeah, they had that on hand and display, and it was fun looking.
Oh, and then none of them are painted. That's interesting. So you have to paint them. I'm surprised, honestly, that they're selling well if you have to paint them, because I know a lot of people, they just know they're not going to paint it and they have no skills. Especially tiny things, trying to paint it and make it look good is really tough. But good for them. They got a Devastator and a Grimlock and a Reflector and a Hound coming out.
I have to imagine there's some sort of Venn diagram of like Warhammer folks and Transformer folks that are, they're into both things.
Yeah.
They're called super nerds, but they exist.
Mike's a nice guy, and he makes a fun little product. So, good stuff. Good stuff.
Next up was 01 Studio with they got their Cell repaint. That's the I guess it's supposed to be after the Black Energon repaint, except I thought that was green highlights, not orange. Anybody know what this one's based off of, or is it a spin on that?
I don't know. And Lucas, Lucas is doing good on the pictures, but I'm seeing it through through the YouTube feed, and
it's behind.
Yeah.
I'm still on Half the Battle Hound.
Yeah, sorry.
It does look
guys,
like Energon.
For not being ahead of ourselves. I just need to have the slides like ahead of like what you guys talk about, and then we'll
just read our minds.
Yes. That's what y'all nerds get for doing this on your phones and not at your PC with multiple monitors.
My PC is up where the wife sleeps, and she's got to work in the morning. She works like for a living, and I don't. So
that's so progressive of you.
I'm the best.
So yeah, there's the Cell repaint. I don't know. I recommend the figure. if people are interested in it, but I can't speak to this color scheme for it though. But the big news, I think, is they showed off their Primus, and he looks pretty freaking dope. Obviously based off the Unicron Trilogy Primus. He comes with a big purple stand that actually attaches to his back in robot mode. And you can put it down and plunk him on it. So it's very cool. You don't think it's a Unicron Trilogy based? Is it more just generic?
It's not generic. You're good.
Okay. I mean, it might not be. I haven't watched that show ever. So. I'm bringing up images it's. I don't know how it looked in the show exactly, but it is a Primus.
It's
like
Cybertron.
Toy.
It looked like the toy. Everything in Cybertron looked just like the toy.
So this one's got a color scheme more of like what we associate with a Prime, of the red and the blue. It just, to me, it's one of those things where it's a cool looking toy, but I don't have the same affinity for Primus as I do for Unicron, and this is not really a version that I'm that familiar with. So it's like,
this design
is going to be a $500 toy.
This design and color scheme is based off of the one in Transformers: The Ultimate Guide. If you look at that art, it's that.
Yeah,
I don't
the DK book by Furman or whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know where that art came from, or they just made it up, for the story.
There was a lot of new stuff in that book that was based off of not the Covenant of Primus. What was that big book that they had floating around in the office that Rick likes to talk about? Like I don't know, it was like some binder.
Continuity.
The binder of primes or the binder of something.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the name, but I remember the references.
Yeah.
So it looks like that. I don't know. It looks cool.
It looks cool.
I'm on the fence. I'm excited. It has an Alpha Trion headmaster, which is cute. And it has, tons of articulation as well, especially for a big guy. His boobs open up with missiles and all that good stuff. All right. Next up is Iron Factory.
Uh-oh. I somehow lost my share screen. Hold on.
Yep. I don't have a lot to say about Legends. It looks like they're still going strong with their Samurai line type stuff.
How they are is baffling.
The Fallen here is the first thing they got. And to be honest, with all the flame effects, he looks pretty cool. I don't know how large that is. It looks like a bigger Legend as far as he's very much on fire everywhere, all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them. I've always thought the Iron Factory stuff looks great. Even some of their earlier designs. Their Samurai stuff, when Catherine's gone through it, looks fantastic. It's just not... It's not something that I have ever, dipped my toe in. And at this point, it would be very expensive to dip my toe into one more thing. And, especially feeling the need to go back and buy some of the older pieces. But again, they continue to look good. I know Serge bought a few of those pieces when he was at the show that weekend, and he's kind of getting into that a bit. But he's also very much a
renter.
He's a renter, but also a dude who's like, I don't have a ton of space. So when you're still in your parents' basement, you got to be judicious.
I mean, I think it's okay to learn to be a dabbler as well. You don't have to collect. The Fallen is number 72, and they also have a Sideswipe, which is number 73. That doesn't mean you have to buy all 73 of them. I think the Fallen looks, because he's on fire, looks pretty dope for a one purchase, right? They probably have a couple else. I think you can pick and choose and be happy. The Sideswipe, I think, has a real cool looking car mode. I think the robot mode looks pretty blah, though, to me.
The thing is interesting. How many of the Iron Factory figures are they redoing now? So I know that Sideswipe definitely came out before in their older style, but then I don't recall if some of the other ones that they've done recently had come out. I mean, so they did all the Dinobots before, but they weren't really Dinobots. It was like War Within, but it was they were much, much smaller and just not the level that they are nowadays. But yeah, like a lot of their figures, like I guess now they're kind of just redoing the characters that they did however many umpteen years ago.
That is one cool thing with Iron Factory too, is that they have been around for a decent amount of time now, and it is cool to see the evolution of their designs and see the toys get better and better. And there's not a ton of third-party companies that you can say that about.
Right. Well, I mean, I appreciate the Iron Factory guys too, just because if I recall, like the price point of these, because like, you know, a lot of the Legends figures, you know, we start calling them kind of mini masterpiece, but then they start kind of having masterpiece prices, or at least old masterpiece prices. And so it's like, oh, I don't know that I need to spend $100 on like a Seeker or whatever kind of thing. And
the Fallen,
like, I think Iron Factory is still like, how much was the Fallen?
Well, the Fallen's 86 on Big Bad.
Oh,
So, but the Sideswipe is 43.
Okay.
Which, you know, for third party, that's not too bad for a figure, you know. But you compare that to a deluxe from Hasbro, which is, you know, 25 at Walmart.
But yeah,
you know,
like I'm thinking though, their Sideswiper, like $40 is about like the price they had charged like back in the day. Is this Fallen figure, like, do we actually have a size of how big he is? Because like I'm
he's
thinking,
definitely
like,
larger.
If he's the same size as I'm trying to think some of the bigger figures that they
the
had.
Recent Grimlock was larger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Fallen looks both taller and broader.
Yeah.
He's the same price as or about the same price as their blue Transmetal Tube Megatron they did, which, you know, looks to be a larger figure as well. It says it stands 4.6 inches tall, so I would assume the Fallen would be comparable, but, you know, I'm reading tea leaves.
Yeah. Scorponok, I think, was another one that they did too. That was larger. So
let's see. Magic Square is coming out with a SD Prime.
I mean, I feel like this has Anna written on it, right? It's kind of a.
I like the look of a lot of SD stuff, but this one just doesn't do it for me. Maybe that's just me. I mean, it still has that cute look or whatever, but it just looks a really, really kibbly in some way, and like just lots of little gaps all over the place. And then the truck mode, it's kind of cute because it's just like super box, but I don't know. It ends up, I don't know, close but no cigar for me.
Yeah.
To me, it has like a very early third party sort of feel to it, where that was a time where it was sort of like the extension of Generations, where Generations was just sort of adding unnecessary detail because, hey, we got to make it modern looking. And so this just takes that to an nth degree. Yeah, it's not bad looking per se, but it's definitely acquired taste.
I find it surprising that that's all Magic Square had, because I don't know if maybe their Legend stuff is slowing down or not, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing that's hard is that sometimes like they don't always put them in the third party panel too, so like they might still be working on it, but
yeah,
it's just not the panel.
Right. I don't remember like what was shown at Toronto, if maybe they just showed off a bunch of stuff there, because that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the next one? New Age? New Age.
Yeah.
This Wheeljack looks real good.
What is that arm? Are they doing a Build-A-Figure?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because there's an arm there. Yeah, they're showing off Wheeljack, and like they got his accessories listed, and then there's just an arm. I don't know if that's maybe is it. What does the Autobot Spike look like? I don't know what color his.
I just got the reference of his name.
Hammond? What is it?
Yeah, because Hammond from Jurassic Park, Hammond made the dinosaurs. And Wheeljack made the Dinobots. I'm assuming that's the reference.
Well, that arm does not look like Autobot Spike. So, I don't know what that is.
What are we doing? Are we still
We're
doing
on
third
New
party?
Age. Yeah, where you been?
Oh, I don't know. What?
He's
He's
looking up Army Guys and Snake Cameras toys.
Oh, you better hang up the chat or whatever it is.
They also got a swoop coming out, a red chest swoop. Actually, a lot of, even more than that, is red shins as well, which is kind of weird. And then,
and they look painted too, so I don't know. It seems like an
Yeah.
interesting look.
and they're also doing like I don't know what that color scheme is for, or is it supposed to be Terrasaur or something? Like Transmetal 2 Terrasaur colors, kind of looks like that. It's green with gold tips.
Yeah, is that supposed to be unproduced G2?
No, because that's like
Oh.
a neon blind you colors.
Okay.
Like I said, the closest I can think of is Terrasaur, the Transmetal Terrasaur.
Yeah.
But let's see, does anybody in our chat know?
Peter, would you happen to know the reference?
I don't know what's going on. Red swoop is red swoop.
No,
No, this
not
is like
red
a teal
swoop.
swoop.
The
This is
green
like
one.
Greenish teal.
Ron is saying
swoop.
it's Shattered Glass. Shattered Glass swoop.
Okay.
Are we sure that's shit? That looks like Marvel UK colors. Who knows what the hell's going on? Swoop.
Oh, Transmetal Terrasaur is purple. What the fuck am I thinking of that's a green Transmetal Terrasaur? Or am I just making things up? Is my brain too old and rotten?
Nothing matters anymore.
It don't
It's a
matter.
cool-looking toy.
None of this matters.
I can just leave it at that. It's a cool looking toy.
You're thinking about
Are
Transmetal
they making
Fractal.
a black one too, or is that
I'm
just
thinking of
like
Fractal.
weird colors?
Yes. Maybe it is a Fractal homage.
And then apparently they have a Seaspray.
Oh yeah, that's totally a Fractal homage. Those are the colors. Yeah. Then there's a Seaspray, and it's just a render for Seaspray. He's got the tubby, the chunky tubby. So that looks good.
That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
So then we got Nanif coming out with a 3-inch modular figure line. Okay. They look kind of like Battle Beasts in a way.
Yeah, they look like
Yeah.
Battle Beasts. They had some on display in the showroom, and the 6 seconds I was able to pause in front of the Nanif table while on my way to the bathroom because I was bound to my booth all weekend. It was like, hey, Battle Beasts, neat. Okay, gotta go.
Were they the same table that was like them and Ramen Toys and someone else, like all kind of like shared one table? Am I thinking of that correctly?
I don't know. There was a bunch of Nanif stuff in like a glass case, and they were handing out free weapons, and they're like, we got free guns. I was like, I gotta go pee, and I ran away.
Yeah.
But
Says
the
they're
boy
all
got
free
guns.
They got 3mm pegs, so I guess you can pop all the parts and rearrange them. It's around $10 for a figure. I'm wondering if it looks like they're going to be gray, and so you could paint them yourself, or is this just prototype pictures?
Idea.
I'm guessing they're probably unpainted.
And he's doing a sludge conversion kit to turn him, I guess, into paddles.
Yep.
Mhm.
There is a paddles kit, but there's also like just a neck adjustment thing for sludge that doesn't look great.
No.
Not the best. Because his neck gets wider at the base on the
Mhm.
Hasbro one, and so it looks like he has a goiter. Goiter paddles. Fans Hobby, they showed off their exclusive. And then they're re-releasing their Overlord with some new accessories. They got 2 new Power Masters. I can't tell if the same Power Master is just repainted or if maybe there's some remolding in it. I can't tell. And then some extra faces. I think the base of the toy is the same, it looks like. Actually, yeah, I think that is new molded backs on the Power Masters. So I don't know. It's a cool figure. If you have been interested in that figure, it might be a good chance to pick it up if you haven't got it in already.
The doozy. I mean, Carnifex is big, and their Overlord is even bigger.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
Yeah, he big. He comes up to I got him right here. I'm looking at him. like his head comes up to like the Decepticon logo on Titan Black Zarek, or Scorponok for that matter. He big.
That ain't small.
And they're showing him off also with their Hydra and Buster.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely look good together. I'm still on the fence on those two. I want to buy them, but I also know there have been other designs that I feel are more show accurate, and I'd rather have those. But I don't know if those will ever come out before I die, if at all. So
I'm going to go with the American versions myself.
Well, I want all four, ultimately.
Okay.
But I want them all as show accurate as you can get.
Yeah.
For all
I'm
those
just going
times
with
Darkwing and
Hasbro, so-
Dreadwing showed up in the show. God.
But do they show up in
All the time.
commercials?
They showed up in a commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they showed up in maybe Headmasters at some point or something. It's been too long. Nope.
God, what's wrong with you?
When do they show up? They show up in something, right? I swear.
Not in the
They
U.S.
show up in a commercial.
That's it? That's really it?
That's it. Yep.
In comic books.
Oh, comic books are just, you get 3 colors and paint entire slabs that color.
Yeah.
Because that's what Marvel did back in the day.
That's what Nel Yomtov did.
And he was Marvel. He was Marvel.
He was Mr.
embodied it.
Marvel, yes. He
Stan Lee was just his pseudonym.
He put the Stan Lee skin on to go out in public. Excelsior!
It's apparently another repaint of Naval Commander, huh?
Yep. They got a purple one. And they're doing the Blaster Minicon combiner. I always like the Minicon combiners just because I like things that combine.
Yeah, the Requiem blaster.
Good job. I could not remember the name.
Oh, that's one of my favorite names ever for a toy.
It's a dope name.
Yeah.
All right. X-Transbots.
There we go.
So they're showing, they got a Dante repaint that's green with a darker green with yellow bits. I don't know what that is. They're saying it's Shattered Dante, so maybe it's Shattered Glass Inferno. I don't know what that color scheme would be, though. And they got a bunch of repaints for their punch counterpunch.
Yeah.
So they got like the Good Wrench car that literally just says Good Wrench on it and has the GM logo. That is a bold move.
Right?
See if it works out, Cotton. Yeah, looks nice for what it is, and then they got Dole Fresh Fruit car with Good Yair.
Yeah.
Yair.
Wait. So
Good
like
Yair.
they're
Was this
willing
spelled by
to do
Zoltron?
right. They're willing to do the GM logo and all that, right? But like somehow Goodyear, they're like, nope.
That's a
Line
bridge
too
too far. Yep.
Yeah.
That or it's
What?
just English. Because Champion is also
Yeah,
Misspelled.
isn't that Champlain
Wait.
or something like that?
Champlain. At least they spelled fresh fruit right. Oh, and look at Dole, the E's backwards.
There you go. See,
Again,
that's totally
back
gonna
for what
throw them
it is.
off.
And then they did the pace car. It even says official pace car. I don't think that is the official pace car. I don't think anything about this is official, but so yeah, and a red one. Jesus. They're repainting that mold a lot. And it wasn't super well received. It wasn't like terrible, but it seemed pretty mid.
Yeah. Their Overdrive, I mean, they've done, 2 or 3 repaints of this already as well. So, I mean, they're very much, and the same thing with like their Junkions. They're trying to get as much mileage per mold as possible. So it's par for the course. I haven't transformed this yet, Rob, but car mode is beautiful looking.
I was getting the Japanese version, and so I haven't gotten mine yet. And it was at the show. The Japanese was on the floor.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really wanted to pick it up, but I mean, I have it pre-ordered from Show Z, and it's cheaper from there. And I'm a patient person, so I will wait.
There are a bunch of those Junkion retools and repaints just sitting at the Chosen Prime booth. I don't think anyone was.
I already bought them.
I know
Yeah,
you have them.
I think that's the point. Is the people who want them ordered them already, and now it's just like.
I got some. I don't think this is insider information, like or secret or whatever, but like when he makes these, like there's minimum runs that have to be met, and the things are they can do different colorations of them at the same time, but the toys have to be made together, and that's why like I was like, how is he doing 6 Junkions at once? And that's how they run them all at the same time, but they can do different paint apps, and that's fine. And so that's what I think some of this other stuff is so because they're doing more runs of stuff, and they need more colorations to try to find ways to sell it. You know, because everybody that wanted this color has already got it, and so they need something else to fill it out. And then of course, after that we get into Devastator Wars, second or third of these. But you know they've already announced their Devastator. They're showing off several more of them here. I don't know what y'all all think about it. I think they look nice. I'm really worried about their transformation.
Yeah, the transformations are probably going to be rough. I like the fact that they have cartoon accurate robot modes and realistic vehicle modes. As we progress through the slideshow, we'll see some other companies with some different takes. I like what I see so far, but I want to see the stuff in hand. Like just like with anything X-Transbots, you got to wait for it to come out, and then you got to see it in hand, and you got to see how fiddly it is.
There's a wrestler, Orange Cassidy, wrestles for AEW. His whole shtick is that he's sort of just like meh, and like like his thing, his logo is just like a thumb, like not a thumbs up, not a thumbs down, just a thumb like that. And just that's how I just feel with all of the Devastator toys now. It's just like I was excited when I first saw the X-Transbots because those did look good, and now we'll jump the gun a little bit, but Fans Toys showed off that they're doing Devastator now too, so it's just. Again with the Devastator, like, oh, yeah, Devastator.
Well, thankfully, Fans Toys has finished several combiners already, so we can
honestly,
tell.
Fans Toys can go fuck themselves with that move. I'm not surprised they did it because they've done this for years now. Anytime another third-party company announces somebody, they drop, hey, look, we're doing it too. Yeah. See you in 8 years.
They have the render ready to go.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So the Gravedigger X-Transbot almost looks like in order to transform it, combine it, that you actually have to screw it into the other piece.
Like which one is Gravedigger?
It's like one of the arms.
Scavenger.
What do you mean screw
like I'm just
it
looking
in?
On the arm piece or whatever, and I swear it almost looks like that you would have to like use screws to connect it to the other the chest.
I think that slides in. And we've seen enough of, and I think they're even in this slide deck here, the Devastator for XTB is going to have combiner parts. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with those parts. Like, are they going to try to make it look like stuff fit toes or whatever? But I think these are all going to slot into those to be held in place.
Okay.
I mean, I see, like, it looks to me like that stuff's going to slip in. Like, you're going to set it in, then you'll put the top part on and sort of something like that into those little grooves. 1 second.
Oh no!
I can't ever unsee that, Rob.
Shouldn't have been anything. It was just me sneezing.
Oh no! I saw the reflection in your face, and it was.
Anyways, I don't know. All the X-Transbots ones look good. I don't think any X-Transbot figure ever has been hard to pick up on the secondary market. So I feel okay waiting to see how these turn out in hand, because ultimately I'll have some set of these, but I like G1 and G2, and one company I'll get G1, another company I'll get G2, and I think every company's probably going to repaint all their stuff except maybe Fans Toys because they've never finished a set. And the schedule came out for how they are planning on releasing some stuff.
Yeah.
And like they pushed I think the Devastator figure ahead of finishing other combiners to the proposed schedule that got leaked, just to try to crap on X-Transbots a little more. And then and I think they also want to get people to buy it before they see how their combined modes turn out. Like, is that thing going to stand? Their Bruticus and or their Minosaur and Superion. Yeah, I figure I'll own some version of the X Transbots. I want to see how it comes out to know which one I want as G1 and which one I want as G2. They're big.
Yeah, no, the individual ones are definitely MP scaled, and so this can be a big boy.
They have wide load here with their Inferno.
Long haul,
Jesus. Sorry, they called it big load, and at this point it's all jumbled together, man. I've lost it.
You're grounded.
You start combining the like third party names with the like official names.
Well, wide load is the little dude.
Bot.
Yeah, the throttle bot. And so like it is a name.
It is a name.
Strong one.
It's just not that name. Oh, there's Ron.
How much do you want to bet? Long haul here will be repainted into wide load at some point.
At some point, there'll be something. Yeah.
So they said apparently the combiner is going to be 522 millimeters. What is that in American units?
That's 52 meters. I'm sorry, centimeters.
That is
right.
20. That is 20 inches in freedom units.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
It's not super big.
Yeah, how big are the other combiners for X Transbots?
They're that big. The current Minosaur is just a smidge shorter than Moon Studios' Raiden and Toy World's Devastator. It's just a hair shorter. And then you have MMC's Bruticus that is a couple of heads shorter. And then, of course, Fans Toys, who knows? It's probably going to be really short because it's going to be so heavy it's going to crumble under its own weight and just be like a pile. So that's my guess.
It's going to use like a self-crushing soda can.
I don't know. X-Transbots one looks great. I hope it holds together well. And I hope the engineering isn't more than it needs to be. They also announced they're doing a tiny Predictabots, which just pissed people off because people are like, where are the rest of the Predictabots? And they're doing an Ironhide and Ratchet that no one asked for. I don't know that necessarily, it doesn't look bad. Some people complained about the proportions of them, but I just felt that was completely unnecessary.
It just sort of looks like a combination of the G1 toy and the G1 animation. Like if you sort of made a hybrid of those. And I don't know, I kind of liked the rough model they had on display. I don't know. Other people I was standing next to looking at were just like, oh, that's like circus ugly right there.
I thought it looked okay. I don't need that at all. I'm good.
And they had one of the other Omnibots on display in like a prototype format, in the hard copy. And
Downshift
looked good.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That alternate mode was my first car. The 1980 was an 84 Celica XX, but in the US it was released as the Celica Supra. I'm gonna get it.
And they had their Runabout and Runamuck on display as well.
Yes.
And I'm very much looking forward to those. I again hope they don't make the transformation miserable because I'm very, very much looking forward to those two figures. But yeah, they showed off their Desecrator. That's what they're calling their Devastator. And you can see that some parts of it are more finished than others. Mixmaster in particular, it looks like they're still really working on him. He's not done yet. The rest of it looks much more done. I don't know. They look great in robot mode. Combined mode looks good. And he has a bunch of faces. And then...
All right, Fans Toys.
We got a cassette pack. We got Auto Scout, Overkill, Slugfest, and his animation colors for the... I think he was in, what, one or two scenes? And maybe one scene?
He was in two... It was one scene, but it was two shots. There was like a wide shot where all of them were gathered together, and then there was the eject shot.
And then Buzzsaw finally. I think all of these look good for what they're doing. I think the Overkill in particular looks really nice. I don't know. It really pops to me.
Well, and like no one else has done an overkill for like forever too, right? Like I think
KFC did.
is the like last one. Those are like 10 years old at this point.
There was one other company that did a Slugfest and Overkill around 2016, 2017. And they were out for 5 minutes and then, that.
Phil has it. Phil's showing it off.
Oh, what is
I don't know what company this is. I don't remember.
It was one of those one and dones. Yeah.
Here, hold on.
It wasn't.
Let me go back to the.
Okay. The Slugfest is decent. The Overkill they tried to make look like more like a raptor in terms of his proportions, and so I don't know. Even the Slugfest is not great. And he's got the same issue the G1 toy does. That is like spines don't really want to stay up very well. Like right now, I just pulled it up and it's holding up, but they'll sink down.
Hey, it's a medical condition if you can't keep it up, okay? Yeah. Should be more considerate.
Oh, Anna says it's Robot Hero.
So. Okay, yes, that makes sense. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to forget that in 5 seconds.
Oh, Anna says that they're up for pre-order. Wait, is Robot Hero up for pre-order? Fans Toys. Oh, okay.
The Fans Toys are for pre-order.
Because that would be confusing.
Well, and hold on. This is not a Fans Toy. This is a what did they call Soundwave?
Robot Paradise.
Yes, Robot Paradise.
But they came in the same slide deck as the Fans Toys stuff.
Yeah.
So they got lumped in.
Fans Toys, and then the next thing is this 4-pack.
Yeah.
Totally different. They showed off their Sound Blaster, who is coming with Ratbat.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why companies do that, but they can go fuck themselves. I'm not buying a $250 Ratbat.
No.
And we have an official one too, and the official toy is great. I'd like to have. I'll buy pretty much any version of a Masterpiece cassette, and I'll just keep putting them on the shelves. But I'm not going to buy a Sound Blaster just for that. I think I used Takara for my official Sound Blaster. I don't know. If you don't have that mold and you didn't want to pick it up for Soundwave, I think it's a great figure for what it's worth. So if you're interested in it, now's a great time to pick up that figure. And if you don't want the Ratbat, hit me up. But what kind of person would not want the Ratbat?
Who doesn't like a politician that turns into a bat and a cassette tape?
A lot of people just hate anything that's like movie or after. So they'll be like, "Oh, Black Soundwave, that sounds super cool. I remember Black Soundwave." No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. You don't know.
Yeah, dude, I totally have 3 of them. But this bat guy, I don't even know. Yuck. And we'll just throw it in the dumpster.
He's the architect of the car wash of doom, so
he is.
You need to back up. And then, of course, they started showing off their Devastator.
Wait, they have a Devastator?
I know, right?
Huh.
He looks really good.
Fans Toys?
No. It looks great. I don't know if this is renders. I assume it's renders. But, it also shows it next to their Galvatron. But you can render stuff these days to look photorealistic,
It's a hologram. It's on tour with Tupac.
But no, I guess if it really is going to release before their other stuff in a few months, then I guess, it could definitely be a production sample.
Yeah, I don't know. This actually kind of looks like a production sample, so maybe.
Yeah. His robot mode looks great. I think his vehicle mode is not as great. Like the claw looks really not good, and honestly, the front half of the whole thing looks pretty not good, in my opinion. It's fine, right?
Kind of an interesting take with like how they did that, because most of the times they flip down the arms on the back, and instead they're flipping down random pieces.
Well, those random pieces, that's how it looks in the cartoon. It doesn't look like the arms. It looks like 2 little angly sticks, 45-degree angles.
I've been waiting for somebody to try to do that. It still doesn't look like the cartoon model looks so jank. It's so derpy. This is the closest we've gotten to it yet. But is it going to hold together well? I think they've shown off some renders of the full thing somewhere. Not in this slide deck, but I don't know. I don't know if it's hard to trust it given how they've done on the other combiners, especially It took them. They haven't been able to do 5 pieces in forever. How are they supposed to do 6?
Right.
I did enjoy that someone made a meme of this leg with the Christmas Story lampshade.
Saw that.
Yeah, that made
What
me
the meme?
chuckle.
What the meme say?
It just was the picture of the leg with the lampshade, i.e., the Christmas Story
Oh,
leg lamp. God, it's so thick sometimes.
I thought maybe there was more to that.
No,
Mastermind Creations. Oh, hey, look, they've got like a Voltron line. That's cool. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a repaint of the worst figure in that line.
Right.
But pretty much all the exclusives sold out.
Immediately.
My understanding. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
I was
the
right
preview night
across.
got rid of a lot.
Yeah. I was across from Toy Dojo where they had the remainder of not the Huntsman, but the other
The
stuff.
Joker.
The Joker and
This guy?
and the tape. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Swarm, the initial 10 a.m. Swarm or whatever it was just like vroom, and everything was gone.
You know,
That bubble burst fast.
Yeah.
Since I was working the floor, that was the one exclusive I wanted to get. I mean, I wasn't crazy. Like if I hadn't gotten it, I'd been fine. Although I believe they're online. My understanding is you can get them online pretty easy right now.
Mhm.
I haven't double checked that, but I went over there and picked one up, and then like an hour later, people was like, "Oh, is that for sale?" Because I had it behind me, something to fiddle with in the show. I'm like, "No," it's like they're already sold out. Okay, I was surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is sort of funny, like the thing that's already sold out. They were supposed to put it up for sale on Monday. Like, oh, we're gonna put it for sale on Sunday instead. Like, yeah, this is really sold out that you have, you can just put up for sale a day early.
It didn't sell
sold
out
what
was
they
that
had this show.
Huntsman.
It did not.
It did not. There were a lot of them over at the Chosen Prime booth.
But it sold out online on Monday.
Did it?
Or whatever day. Yeah, whatever day they put it out online, it sold out within like an hour or so.
Which
Good
one was
for
the
them.
Huntsman?
The Predator, Machine Wars Predator.
Repaint of their Darkwind or Dreadwind.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or Darkwing
It's-
Dreadwind.
Well, no, this one was Marksman to go
Darkwing
with
Dreadwind?
Huntsman, which was the repaint. That's the G2 Soundwave.
Yeah. It's one of those, I think we talked about it a couple weeks back. It's apparently a good figure, and I love homaging that stuff, but it just doesn't work for me because it's too large of a figure for
Too
the Predator.
big. I don't need Masterpiece Predators. But
I will
those
take
who
some
want 'em-
Masterpiece Predators, but I want them this tall.
Oh, hey, it looks like Studio Ox is doing a wing thing. Or not wing
Rat
thing,
Bat.
but Rat Bat, I mean.
which means they'll
Yeah.
do a wing thing.
They'll do a wing thing at some point.
I mean, we
You know
have
what I want? I want actual wing thing. I want actual Action Master partners from one of these companies. Robot Hero
No.
should get on making those Action Master partners. Just make derpy little friends to go with our deluxes.
Impossible. Oh, it's just something while we're talking about Rat Bat from them. I did pick up these at the show.
Yeah, I have a wing. I have wing thing. I've got them sealed to the card. What do you want from me? You're grounded. I've got the Masterpiece tape pack. I've got whatever you want.
Fine.
Do you have a Grandis?
Sorry, what are you talking about?
No,
Can you
some
show
dude
It's the
up?
one
bought it.
thing. One
The
thing.
one thing.
But yeah, I picked up their Rewind and Eject at the show. Just because I hadn't gotten around to it yet, and they are really good. So I hope Rat Bat is more like everything except their steel jaw. That's all I want. And then they showed off their hotspot. He is a blocky, chunky boy.
And they've now gotten some shade of like, are you going to finish your combiner? Because they're showing a completed Defensor with 2 Streetwises and 2 First Aids. And it's like, that's
We
not...
haven't, other than like the very early render, we haven't seen anything of Groove or Blades.
Yeah.
And so that's, I don't know, that's concerning. And it's been a long time since Streetwise came out.
Mm-hmm.
And First Aid. I can't remember which one came out first that ran together, and they're both
First Aids was first.
and they're both such good figures. So
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, while they haven't finished that, showed off their Devastator as well. That's right, people. All three companies still doing Masterpiece figures have a Devastator coming out now.
Well, there you go. You know, we asked for a Masterpiece scale Devastator that was like more, you know, like animation accurate, and here you are.
I don't think the MMC one fits that bill, though. Like, the individual robot modes will probably be good, but the combined mode, I think, looks pretty freaking bad. His upper thighs just look weird to me, and I don't know what the fuck's going on at his waist, but that is not the Devastator waist at all, like either toy or cartoon.
Weird.
And they're going with almost like a key line sort of green. I don't know if that's just the color in that in that slide, but it's like it's just not quite right. Not key line. It's more of like Homer Simpson.
It's radioactive.
Yeah, exactly. It's like my eyes, the goggles do nothing kind of green.
I don't put too much stock in that just because this is obviously still renders.
Yeah.
But it's even then, why would you render it so fucking bright green?
Yeah. Turn down the saturation, man.
Yeah. So yeah, they showed that off. I don't think they showed off how it's going to look combined. I don't know though. It's just I quite enjoy their Bruticus. I'm looking forward to the rest of their Defensor, which they do show there were some renders at least, but
yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because I feel like just looking at those three combiners, like just on these renders, like they get progressively worse. Like Bruticus looks the best, you know, and then the Protectobots or whatever, and then, you know, Devastator, it's like, I don't know.
Defensor looks really good. Devastator is kind of iffy.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, Defensor is just all different engineering because now you're making 6 guys into 1 versus 5. So you can use some of the same techniques from Onslaught from Bruticus to Defensor, but you can't do that with Devastator.
Nope.
Right.
Ron says that he thinks Hotshot or Hotspot. He says Hotshot. I assume he means Hotspot. Looks bad.
Well, if he meant Hotspot, he should have said so and not have been a filthy casual about it.
Ooh. He also
I can't throw shade. I fucked up like 8 things today.
Right.
He also poo-poos their Onslaught, and I've got their Onslaught over here, and I think he's delightful. He's a lot of fun. He's chonky. He's a big chonky boy, but he hits every mode. He's my friend. I don't want to talk bad about him because he'll talk to me in my sleep. He'll watch me as I sleep.
I will give that the robot mode proportions on Hotspot are not cartoon accurate. Like the overall theme is there and it's correct, and like he does have these dumb big chunky shoulders, right? They're not that big,
cartoon though,
but not that big and dumb and chunky. That's what I mean by like. I'm looking at the images, sir, side by side.
Yeah, no.
But it's like I'm good with it though. Ultimately, like it's. I think to do an all-in-one combiner
is probably the best looking Devastator to me of the ones coming out. But yeah, of course, I feel like it's probably going to be the same way as like with the Toy World Devastator when you get it. And it's like I transform it once to get it into combined mode, and then it's like never again. I'm just going to let it stand there.
I mean, third party, especially combiners, what are you supposed to do? Play with it every day? No.
Right.
I never got the Toy World one or the whatever. Like it didn't look right. I was like, oh, I'll get around to it maybe. And I'll wait for something better. And now here we are in the third Devastator Wars 3 or whatever, like Rob was saying. And
so one of our fans doesn't really collect third party. He's not anti-third party. He's just over it. But he likes to say he went to a third party panel several years back, and he's like, they're all doing the same thing. This is stupid. And he just kind of lost interest that like overall. And I try to argue with him because I'm like, it's not entirely true because like X-Transbots did run about and run amok and punch counter punch and, you know, all the Junkion other show guys. And like, I feel like XTB will dip into the weird places. But it doesn't help them when it's like everybody's doing Devastator now. It's like, you sons of bitches. You're hurting.
Well,
Like, do Computron, Predaking, Abominus. Like, there are other combiners, Road Caesar. Like, there are places to go instead of let's all fight over the early combiner guys.
But most of the people that are going to want to dish out lots of money aren't going to want to dish out lots of money for a Road Caesar or a Lio Kaiser or even an Abominus, because that's all after the movie. That's Gen 2 when they're just wrong saying dumb stuff.
And, if you don't want to shell out money for Abominus or Computron, then you're stupid and
you're wrong.
My hobby.
Yeah,
I will
get out of here.
Well, like,
and
I feel like for, someone like Rob, right, where you're like, oh, I want to give these third-party companies my money, but it's like, like you were talking about waiting for XTB, right? Well, are you waiting for XTB to release all of them so that you can, like, make sure that the combined mode's okay? I mean, same way with fan toys or whatever. So then it's like you're sitting there waiting, like, 4 years or something like that on some of this shit. And if everyone is doing it at once, you're like, oh, I don't actually have a figure that I can buy because they're all doing Devastator.
Well, we did that with Warbitron. We waited 2.5 years to finish Warbitron. Then it was like, oh, I did it. I don't want it anymore.
I liked Warbitron. I had it for a while. If you mean the Bruticus, not the
Bruticus.
Computron.
Do you know when I sold my Bruticus, my Warbitron
when it
Bruticus?
Fell?
At TFcon Orlando 2023 for $250.
I sold mine, I think, on eBay years back. You definitely didn't get it near what you paid for it. All the generations, Chug classic style combiners, all of those have just plummeted in value. No one cares about them anymore because Combiner Wars took out people that want that scale. Masterpiece people aren't interested in it. The only good thing about it is, like, we got everybody.
Yeah,
we got everybody in that style.
My unique toys, Abominus is in there. My TFC, Lio Kaiser, and Road Caesar, and all those guys, they're all in there. Fans Project, Dino King, and Monstructor.
Yep. I never bought the Monstructor. I have the Dino King. I don't like it.
I like it just fine. It doesn't actually do anything. I got all the shells and everything for the Dino King.
I remember you tracking those down for a while, and they were very expensive.
They were very expensive, and then they all went on clearance, and I felt so good. When some stores had like 3 and 4 of them for $25 a piece, and they wouldn't sell. And I spent $120 a piece on each of them, and it was like, oh, I'm doing a good job.
Wish you'd have told me about that. I would have picked them up at that point. I didn't know they went on clearance that hard.
Yeah, they plummeted, and then they all sold out, and then the prices went back up.
I was about to say they're probably skyrocketed again.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Rob, but I do feel like between X-Transbot and Fans Hobby, there's a lot of third-party toys that are coming out of characters we've never gotten Masterpiece scale toys of. And quite likely probably won't get Masterpiece toys out of some of these characters. So I'm overall pleased with the third-party landscape for the first time in a few years. You said that your toy buying budget, you've just gotten rid of it because you're not buying that many things. Do you still feel that same way after seeing this panel?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm looking to buy a lot of stuff X-Transbot's announced 3 years ago when he did his, like, big, and everything's like, oh, it'll all be released by the end of 2022 or some nonsense. So, like, there's stuff coming, and I'll be getting it, but, like, the only companies I'm really buying from are MMC, Fans Project, or Fans Toys, and X-Transbots. Like, if Make Toys does something, I will pick it up, if they do something new. But, that's maybe a few other odd things here, but, like, how much do those companies put out? Not a lot. And I don't buy everything they put out, even at that. So it's pretty chill.
Why aren't you
I know, like, even talking the Fans Hobby stuff, like, I think all the Fans Hobby stuff is really, really fun. But I know, like, as Peter brought up before, like somebody else brought up, like they're not 100% accurate. And so even though a lot of those are fun, like you're like, oh, like
and to
do
be
I
clear,
want
it's not
to?
like it's not like, oh, it's not 100% accurate. You know, nothing's 100% accurate, but it's just like it's just their own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they are very evocative. You can tell who they're supposed to be, but it's more like the old style where that's what we did. You know, it was all interpretations of characters. It's just like, oh, this doesn't look even like, you can't even squint at it in a lot of cases and make it look like a cartoon. I mean, I do think their Hydra Buster are closer in that regard. You know, there's notable differences for me, but it's close. It's much closer than like their Headmaster Juniors, which are just
It's just whatever they wanted to do. Go for
Yeah,
it.
and again, I'd say that's a company that you can see the evolution of their designs and what they started with their monster bots that have got behind me there. That those were just big, chunky, puffy, Dreamwave-esque looking figures that are just behemoths of toys. Like you drop that thing on your toe, like, good luck, you know, getting your toe severed and amputated there. You know, and then we got their G2 Prime, and that looked more like the actual Prime, but the more original G2 toy, but again, chunkier and heftier. And they've kind of been refining it as they've gone along. And some they do take a little more artistic license with, and others they've been eschewing more to the original design. I'd say has been the trend with them.
So
I feel
I
like
don't know if
these
you see on the video feed where like you froze, I don't know, at some
God
point.
bless it.
And so like
it's
you're
frozen, like, 4
adjusting your
times.
glasses. Like it was really funny. So like your whole monologue there. You're like
Actually, their
Yeah.
accuracy levels.
yeah.
Gotta do the David Caruso, just like whip off the glasses to make the point.
Yeah. Like I find myself conflicted on Fans Hobby a lot because their toys are good. Like I finally picked up the Monster Bots because no one else is going to touch them, and I really like the figures. They are just big, chunky, fun toys. And I put them in my masterpiece collection, and that's just where they'll sit until somebody does something else. But that's how most of the Fans Hobby stuff is, though. It's like I know if I buy it, it's immediately a placeholder, and it's just a question of, do I think this can be a placeholder? If it's going to be for 2 years, I'll just wait. If I think it's going to be like 5 years, then 7 years, will any of us be around then, right? So I might go ahead and buy it. You know, if it's as long as it's still a good toy, you know, and enjoy it for a long time. I think that's okay. But
and don't forget they got the Unicron trilogy stuff coming out as well, and that's been pretty well received by that fan base.
I've really been working hard not to buy their Armada Megatron. It looks so good. I really want it, but I don't know that I want to make space for it though. But it looks very good.
They got a tidal wave coming out to pair with it.
I can pick and choose. I would pick Megatron. If I was going to get anything, it would just be that one. I wouldn't get any of the rest.
Ron says that he does appreciate, at least with third party, there's no yellowing plastic like how Hasbro's been. It's been pretty rough the last year or so.
I feel that is a bold statement. Like everything will yellow over time. It depends on how the plastic is made, and people lump third party in as a single thing way too much when it's a billion different factories doing a billion different things, all making plastic their own way.
Yeah,
and you know, and even like
it's dozens of companies, dozens of factories, and it's
well, one
who knows
that
how it'll
I
turn
felt
out.
like with a lot of the third party fit, and I guess I can't say with all, but like I feel like a lot of that plastic with third party has like gotten brittle over the years. Like I've kind of noticed that, like just handling, like I noticed it with the Mastermind Creation stuff.
I know it's with Voss. Voss is kind of crumbles these days.
Yeah,
really?
But there's like other companies I felt like too, where it's like you handle it 5 years, 7 years later or whatever, and you're like, oh, this, like this seems a little bit brittle here.
But I had that also with Sola Chogokin stuff. I bought their what's that? I don't know. The guy, he's a big elephant in the middle. Matt from Transformerland brings a big statue of it.
Dan Kuga.
Yeah, I bought that toy because it's a fun toy, and I like robots that combine. Oh wait, no, not that one. That one may be fine. I'm afraid to touch it though. It was a Gunbuster. Gunbuster's fingers just, and that's Solar Chogokin isn't known as using crap materials, So and it's just it happens, and you just it sucks. It's sad, but and I had that 1MMC figure, the Great Shot figure. I remember it was sitting on my shelf for years. I picked it up to sell it, and it was just like, bloop. This one leg didn't come with it. I was like, what?
That's exactly what happened to mine. Is I picked it up and one leg stayed there. I was like, farts. And then I got the replacement part.
Was it that specific figure too? Because I feel like Hexatron's been pretty solid.
My Hexatron's fine. My grandest Hexatron is the one that broke. Yeah.
Slightly different mix that day when they made the hit pieces for that run.
Mm-hmm.
Where air bubbles got into whatever's shooting in the melted plastic or however it's made, right? That day, and they just all are sitting there broke, waiting for a slight breeze to come by and knock them down. I actually sold that broken thing. Somebody bought it somewhere at some point. I'm sure it sold for probably like $20 or whatever, right? But sold.
I was happy. So go ahead.
I was going to say, Peter and I saw firsthand the frenzy that people will go into for broken toys.
It was pretty wild. I literally brought how many bins? 4 bins of just broken junk.
Yeah.
Broken junk. Like stuff I had chopped up, stuff I'd purchased, broken stuff I got in
head
junk
donors.
lots. Yeah, head donors and just like things that I don't know, it was a mess. And she dumped them all out into like a couple of really big like black tote things, and we were selling, what was it, $5 for a small Ziploc bag and $10 for as much as you could cram into a Walmart bag, and it was a feeding frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
People were like pushing each other to like dig through these buckets. So, what are you doing? This is literal trash. Like, this one's missing a head. Yeah, the sign says this is all trash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. And then maybe the head's in there, and they're digging and digging and digging.
It's not. I guarantee you, it's not.
Yeah.
That's the part I fucking took.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't.
Keep digging. Keep giving me cash. I'm fine with it.
That's awesome. Like,
It was great.
by the time that day I had a chance to come back and look through, they were already pretty picked over.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just thought that was maybe more how it started.
No.
I had no idea. That's like, how much of it do you think you sold percentage-wise of what you brought of the junk?
I have 1 tub of junk left.
I'd say you sold it.
How many did you have?
Junkers.
4.
Just literal trash you can shove into a bag.
Yeah, like I ran upstairs because like I've got the customs area or whatever in the closet in the G1 room, and I literally like was just dumping the drawers out into the bucket, just like I don't need any of this shit.
Fuck it.
All these customs are abandoned. Fuck them. I'm done. And
My
that
man.
was that. Yeah.
And now you got some money in your pocket. You probably got a few $100 for that stuff.
I did. Yeah.
And then to the people that are just like, do you have a such and such in this bin? Like, I don't know. We don't just care like that, dude. We don't know. Like, maybe at some point they exist in that bin. We have not been keeping track of what people have been buying from the bin. So even if it was there 30 minutes ago, it could be gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I think, get annoyed by specific character questions. It doesn't bother me, because if somebody has a big table, I've noticed every time I look at it, I will see different things.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to make the sale. And a lot of times people have a rough, like, I wouldn't say probably for the junker bins, but, the normal stuff, you generally know, like, hey, I have one, or I did, or if I did, it's going to be in this specific area to help narrow your search down. But there was a lot of questions for Tarn, the new Tarn. And I just blanked on who else. A couple people asked for my Joker figure. And I also got a Cosmos at the show as a gift. And I put the Joker and Cosmos like behind us, like, for most people could tell that's the toys I was playing with, but I also did it just to fuck with people, because every now and then I was like, hey, is that for something? I'm like, no, it's not. Just sometimes you get annoyed with some of the bad folk. Most people are great, for what it's worth. Most people are great. There's 2 or 3 groups of people that I don't know how they became adults and think that these are play tables for people to come in and just mess with shit and then just throw it and clump it around.
There was a lot of just like handling, like just turning things over, like literally picking up a box and turning it upside down, then walking away. And it's like,
right back, I found it.
In case anybody's not sure, if you want to inspect something because you're seriously considering buy it, that is totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the point of a show in person, is that you know exactly what you're getting. But just picking up toys to play with them because you're curious, and then like just fuck off. I don't want you handling the merchandise, bud. It's not a playground. Although for the junk bins, who gives a shit? But
yeah, junk bins, I don't care. There were kids that were excited, like literally like Broken in Half, Ultra Magnus Gen 1. They're like, oh, Ultra Magnus.
Not exactly. You got the Ultra Magnus was in another bin.
I think my favorite was the people getting excited about the half Energon Omega Supremes.
Yeah.
Well, if you have two halves, then you got the full thing.
There was one guy who was like, I got the yellow half at home. I've been trying to look for the blue half.
That's
oh my
awesome.
God.
Yeah.
Why does he have
coming to this show
half?
It's like I've been coming to this show for 5 years.
Sunday.
Oh man.
There you go, Peter.
No, and don't get me wrong. I don't mind the people asking, like, "Oh, do you have such and such?" Like, "Oh, let me take a look. Let me look around." Like, I had a pretty good idea of what Peter had and what he didn't. But yeah, no. If you're asking if there's a like someone like that in the junker bin, yeah, no, man, that's yeah.
Feel free to dig.
Things go in there, and they don't ever come back out.
Someone dug out, what was it, a Cybertron Soundwave, and traded me a Crasher for it.
Yeah,
like in the
that
box.
was the Crasher. Tons of people were asking us for Crasher.
Lots of Crasher questions.
And you ripped that poor person off.
Hey,
at their own behest.
I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, I need this one." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take Crasher. That's fine."
Yeah.
Take it back. Put 50 on that. Set it on the table.
One kid bought a pile of junk with $2 bills. And they were crisp, super crisp $2 bills. He's like, "I need more of your junk," and I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "I've got these."
How Peter got arrested for fraud with using fake currency.
What else?
They still print twos.
They still print twos, yeah. Someone asked about Age of Extinction Drift, and I had the helicopter one, the Skyhammer retool, on the shelf. I'm like, "I got this one," and he's like, "Yeah, not that one." And then he just walked away.
Yeah.
You offended him.
Like, no, I'm good.
Good day to you, sir.
Yeah, he like ran up. "Do you have AOE Drift?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got one right here." No. Okay.
Dude, there were multiple times that weekend where my brain just like broke for like 2 minutes or so, where someone would be like, "Oh, do you have Power of the Primes Misfire?" And I'm just like for my brain to put all those words together into what figure he's talking about. I'm like, Power of the Primes Misfire.
That same person asked us at our table as well, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think you found it.
Toy, but yeah, it's just like, so you just kind of realize some of the marketing terms that Hasbro's come up with for these, or the labels they've given these. It's like, Transformers, Earthrise, Siege, whatever. And then you have all these like 6 words to describe what wave it is, and then the character himself is like just a gobbledygook of vehicle parts that make up a name.
What show was it? It was here like 6 months ago or 9 months ago. We were going off some new listings and we were talking about it. And I remember I read one of them off, and it's like 7 words or something.
It was it was the Towhook. It was like Robots in Disguise, Universe, Buzzworthy, Bumblebee, Target Exclusive, Legacy, Evolution, Towhook, Wrecker Hook, Sinker Hook, or some
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Clearance fodder. There were people that would come around and ask for a specific thing, and you tell them, "No, sorry, I don't have it." And then a half hour later, just as excitedly, they come back to your table and ask for that same exact thing again. "Do you have oh?" And you can see them sometimes like catch themselves.
Like, oh shit, I asked this
I've
guy.
already asked this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand getting overwhelmed in the dealer room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
especially the first day where there's a lot of people around and you kind of don't know which way is up. Yeah, I could easily see that.
I will say this: if you go to TFcon and there's like very specific things you want, if you do not pay to get in early, you ain't getting it. Like if it's anything that's even remotely in demand.
If it's in demand, that's the thing, is if you're looking for specific things that aren't necessarily the Cosmoses and Crashers and the hot ticket items, the exclusives. If you all I want is a table setting from 1985, there are going to be 2 or 3 of those floating around the showroom floor, and almost no one's going to be chasing them. I want these things. I have these things, but I'm selling my extras.
Orson had I think like 3 or 4 each of the G2 Sideswipe and G2 Dead End, and they were not, they were marked over retail by $5-10, and like maybe it's probably 10, maybe even 15, I don't know. Anyways, like they were gone before general admission got in. Like, and it's not like they all sold it once right away, but it was just one here, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, all those are gone. And then you get somebody coming up, hey, you got you. It's like, you came in with the pores, didn't you? I'm sorry, sir.
See, that's the thing. I saw all that stuff at retail. It's still sitting around in my local spots.
I saw Dead End at my Walmart. I haven't been to Walmart in months. I ended up there the other day, and I was like, oh, there's one there. Good luck for whoever finds it.
Yeah, exactly.
Supposedly
I thought about they're picking it up.
Yeah, they're hitting shelves again. Maybe they got better distribution this time versus Velocitron, where it's just like, just send it to Ross.
Well, Velocitron got 2 waves. Well, it got 2 in my area at least. There were 2 surges. There was like the initial. Oh no, the
Bill only has 1 surge in his area.
Ball. But yeah, I saw the G2 wave.
There's only one Sergio that lives near me. You are sadly mistaken.
True.
Only one that counts.
Yeah.
I figured the dealer room would be more flush with the G2 stuff than it was. I could have really cleaned up with those.
Yeah.
It was interesting. A good amount of the Netflix trilogy stuff was around.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that there wasn't a ton of was the Combiner Wars trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, there was, maybe people are just aren't into that stuff, but
oh no, it's sold out and it's gone.
It's sold.
Yeah.
We had, I feel like we had 1 or 2 sets, but we also had some sets of the new Minosaur. I think we had 3 sets of those total, and all of those sold.
I feel like
there were some booths that had a lot of retail. Good.
I was gonna say, I feel like I should actually sell some of those Combiner Wars figures because they're actually kind of hard to find nowadays.
They still command pretty top dollar. Do it before the other sets come out for future combiners, because
the G2 ones, don't those sell for pretty high right now, or did they come back down?
I think they're still up there.
Those were ones that like they hit clearance, then they spiked. So I don't know what they're
that old song.
Yeah.
One thing that was nice about the dealer room was the room to walk in between tables. Like, I mean, it was a good sized dealer room. I don't think it was any notably bigger or smaller than what you would expect. It was a good size, but yeah, sometimes there's been that many dealers, and you're like, oh, I'm coming home with 4 variations of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And like this time, like there was plenty of room to spread out, which was really nice.
It sounds weird to say, but I enjoy the fact that they had a high ceiling room. Even TFcon Chicago last year, the ceiling was maybe half the height in the room. You just feel a little more claustrophobic. Nowhere near as bad as when we got stuck in the basement and was the Hyatt in Chicago and Rosemont there. But yeah, this is the big high ceilings help. But the one thing I was complaining about all weekend was just the piss poor lighting. I felt really bad for the Artist Alley people because the lighting.
There was a lot of complaints about that.
Yeah.
Like, not just you, like other people were like had laid out their table, and the lighting is so bad. They're like, "Fuck it, we got to." Like, I saw them completely reworking their display to try to get their stuff in light because it was just so bad.
People were asking, and the hotel was like,
"Yeah,
it is what it is."
I felt bad for the folks that were selling in the Artist Alley.
You tell me what kind of lighting you want to put Florida brides in, okay? She don't just look like an alligator, son.
Oh no! Yeah, it was a good show. There were a lot of retail stuff stuck behind. A lot of there was a lot of stuff moved and a lot of stuff stuck around. Not at our booth or at Orson's booth, but
I mean, I remember TF Source, who is like my least favorite big retailer by far, just because of some of their practices. But I remember how their booth looked before the show opened, and then how it looked at the end, and they had insanely less toys. Like, even the big guys did good. I don't know how Matt did from Transformer Land, because he has so much shit, and I think a lot of it's like under the table or behind him in his center, and it fills out as it comes up, and it's all in those boxes, which he's got so many of them, and they're all so specific that like it's hard for me to gauge how much does he really sell, because so hopefully he did
I think
good.
he still had half a dozen inbox Jetfires, G1 Jetfires, when the weekend ended.
He's been bringing those for years.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, I feel like he got one year he showed up with like 100 of them, maybe not 100, but it
felt like it. It was like a tower of Jetfires. Yeah.
Yes. And he's been selling them through the years, a little more, a little more, a little more. It still amazes me how much boxed stuff he constantly has incoming. Like we know people that buy and sell toys and stuff, and I know comic shops and toy shops around, and they do that too. I wonder how he just has this innate connection to constantly get boxed stuff.
Well, the website name helps a lot.
It is a good name.
And he's been doing it. I started buying from him in 1998. So
people just know.
Yeah, buying accessories and just dumb stuff. And he didn't have a huge operation in 1998. He's like, yeah, I've got some Pretender parts for you. Oh, okay. I'll send you my $8 for 30 items or whatever it was.
Well, last year it was noticeable that they weren't there, and people were saying, "Oh, why isn't Transformer Land here?" So, they do have a good reputation in the fan base. Peter, I had said multiple times that I did not see it. You were there till the show floor ended. Was there any kind of last minute rush of buying stuff?
It's slowed way down.
Yeah.
The girl and I, we were talking because between 2 and 3:30, because my panel ended at 2. Between 2 and 3:30, because at 3:30 I was able to do my like just personal walk around, see if I wanted to get anything. Mm-hmm. There was like no movement. We had people just hanging around talking, good conversations, just making friends and all that stuff, and it was like not a lot of rushing, like not a lot of people asking for bargains or anything, just people poking around.
I put my rule of thumb for shows like this that you probably make like 70% of your sales on Saturday. Yeah. Again, these are just kind of made up numbers, right? But it's not like you will make more sales on Sunday because some people still have money in their pocket and they're there to spend it. And they're going to walk around until they find what is the most interesting thing they can buy. But, and some people only show up on Sunday, but, people are getting pretty picked over stuff at that point, hopefully, right? Because Saturday was so good. Hopefully you're pretty picked over. We still sold a good bit of stuff. We had some big stuff that sold finally, like stuff that people had been eyeing that was kind of expensive. And they still had some money, and it's like it's still there at the end of the day, and then like they can negotiate a little more money off of it, and it sells. We sold one of our Christians. We showed his Moon Studio Radiant finally at the end.
Yeah, but he was excited about that.
Yeah, I mean he lost money on that thing hard, but you live and you learn. But yeah, everybody was happy at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm. There were a lot of.
Some stuff sold, but there's no rush because everybody the rush is Saturday, and Sunday you're just cleaning up. But you'll still sell some more stuff, but it's a lot less.
There was a mild sentiment that I had that like some people at this show just didn't know how to convention. It didn't have the same ebb and flow that other conventions I've been to have had. So nothing against the people there or the customers there. It just was, just didn't seem like it had the same energy and consistency of energy that other conventions have been to have had.
Yeah, and it could just be the the people and all that, like the location, right? Because like I'm sure that doing this down in Florida, that they probably have a completely different, obviously there's the diehards, but like there's probably a lot of people that were coming from who had never been to a TFcon before. Too.
Apparently the number of walk-ins and like tickets sold was really good, like as good as anything else they do, and at least all the voice actors I believe were saying they did really well, and at least one of them said it's the best they've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. But
there was a lot.
Actually, I do remember who it was, but
there was a lot of consistency at the voice actors table. I will say that. But I'm surprised to hear that about the walk-ins. I didn't, and I don't know who's coming in with what kind of badge, but it didn't seem like there was a ton of walk-ins.
I thought this area would have sucked for walk-ins.
There were a lot of kids, a lot of like kids with parents, which I mean that happens.
The kids were mostly well behaved.
Oh yeah, they were all well behaved. I didn't have any issues with the kids. Most of the people that I was just like, "What are you doing?" were
except for the bin goblins,
teenagers or adults.
Teenagers or adults, yeah. The little kids were just excited, and like, how much money do I have left? And, oh, you've got $13. Okay, the kids are all excited. So that was really nice to see, and you see kids at every show. But there were a lot of kids.
If you're ever somebody that is looking like a lot of us here, right, our late stage transformerism, and you're looking to pare down stuff, a show is by far the best way to do it. Price your stuff aggressively low. Get an idea of the average eBay price and knock 20% off of it.
That's exactly how we priced our stuff.
Yeah, and like your stuff will fly. It'll get away. You're not going to lose anything really compared to what you'd pay in eBay and PayPal fees, and you don't have to worry about them breaking it and claiming it came that way. And you just don't have to fuck with shipping it either, which is just.
I had one issue. It wasn't an issue. It was easy peasy because whatever. A guy came over. He wanted to buy Universe Sideswipe, and the Universe Sideswipe was missing a gun. And I told him he's missing a gun. And he looked at it and he thought about it and he wandered the table a little bit. And eventually he's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." Okay, fine. There's $25. You want to pay for it? Good to go. And then he came back like an hour later. He's like, "I found the same thing over there with the gun. Can you do a return?"
Cool for you.
I let him do it. I don't care, whatever. And then it sold again like a half hour later. Like,
yeah.
There it goes. Buy Sideswipe.
Oh, and talking about just the core, maybe this is something we need to add to our like convention prep stuff. Don't ask people to hold stuff for you. It's because like so many people say, "Hey, can you hold this? I'm gonna go get money and come back." You never see them again.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, like we had pretty good results with people saying that. I think we had one or two that didn't come back, but we had like 3 or 4 that did. Some of them came back right away. Like they were not bullshitting. Some said they were going to come back in 30 minutes, and they came back like an hour later. Which sometimes maybe you already put it back out. Sometimes you didn't. It just depends. But you're just basically asking the dealer to potentially lose out on a sale to, like, there's no benefit to the dealer to hold something unless you're like, if I can buy all of these things at once, I will, type of thing. But come prepared and know that cash is king. We're in a better age. Come prepared. If you're not going to bring cash, have PayPal and Venmo accounts, like ready to go. Most people will take 1 or 2 of those. Some people will take card, but card's just going to charge them money. So come PayPal friends and family from a bank account.
A guy came over from that direction, and he came over grumping about the previous table he was at. I was like, "These people don't even take Cash App. Come to the 21st century, guys. I'm here. I'm here. I've got Cash App. You guys just get with it." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "So how much for whatever?" And he was looking at something. And I'm like, "Blah blah blah." And he's like, "Do you take Cash App?" I was like, "No." Take PayPal, Venmo, cash. And he's like, "You guys are killing me." And then he wandered away. And then later in the day, I saw him as I was leaving the bathroom. He's like, "You selling a lot with cash?" I was like, Yeah, we're doing okay." I went back inside.
So I don't know. My thousands of dollars say yes that I have in cash. Please don't rob me.
Please don't rob me.
Right.
I get very frustrated with that thing because there's like a half dozen apps.
Yeah.
And, to have set up for every single one of them, it just feels bass backwards. Yeah.
But we had a couple at the table. I mean, we had a card. We were able to take card.
Yeah.
We had Venmo, we had PayPal, and we had cash.
Right. And I think that, to me, that's the
I mean,
thing.
I feel like,
Cash App is
that's
some Zoomer crap.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you take
if
a
I was
credit
a-
card and and PayPal and Venmo, I mean, come on.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think the point is, like, if you're a shopper, have multiple ways to pay. If you're a vendor, have multiple ways to accept payment.
Yeah. At the end of the day, cash is still the best. Everyone wins. It knows how to deal with it,
Yeah.
and you got to get some change, but that's usually it. Like if I was a regular dealer, I would probably set up a couple more payment apps like Cash App or whatever. I only set up Venmo to sell stuff to people in the neighborhood. Like we want to get rid of some things. That's the only reason I ever made that account.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would be okay with setting it up, but yeah, a lot of them are fly by night or just don't. Yeah, you don't want like 8 things that have access to your bank account. You know, you want to kind of. It needs to be proven and be around and have a lot of use for it, or else you're going to forget about it, and it's just vulnerability. But
well, I heard that X.com is going to start doing banking, and we should all put our money in X.com. And X.com is the future of everything. And if we don't get on board the X train, then we're going to be left at the X station, and we don't.
I'm already there. I'm buying
Oh,
Xcoin. Xcoin, the new
yeah.
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
I've put a lot of money into websites with X in the title, and I've never done anything back from that.
Never put money in those. No, you're doing it wrong.
Back in the day before it was.
Oh, before we break here, I know we're getting late. Next one is in Baltimore, November 1st through the 3rd, something like
The
that.
next fall one is in Baltimore.
Next fall one, yes.
The
Yeah.
fall one,
Yeah.
There's
LA,
there's one
then Toronto.
there's one in LA in the spring as well.
Yeah, Toronto in the summer, and then Baltimore in the fall. And I
So
will
who
be
else?
at least one of them.
Come to Baltimore because that's the one I'm going to.
Oh, I'm going to be at Baltimore, but I might end up at one of the others.
Oh, I would like to go to the
LA.
or Ontario one.
I've been to
I've
that
never
one.
been to
It's-
Canada.
Oh, well, we should go. I took the kids up there. Like we did a road trip from Florida to Toronto and back, and we did like a Midwest route up and then an East Coast route down, and we hit 25 states. It was wonderful.
Is that
Really?
when you
Had a
did
good
like the Satanic Temple on the way back?
That was we went to Satanic Temple. We saw all sorts of weird like roadside attractions and stuff.
Did you have a site that like helped you plan out that route to make it interesting, or did you?
I
Just
think
do
it was
yourself?
called Roadside America. She went to that site, and you can look it up by state, and it pulls up all the wacky shit that you can find in each state. And you can choose, if I remember correctly, you can choose which interstate you're going along. So it's like if you're going on Interstate 75 and you're heading up this way, or you're taking 40 or 24 or whatever, look for this shit because you're not going to want to miss this weird shit. It's the world's largest office chair, and it's 40 feet tall for no reason in front of this abandoned warehouse. Okay.
And Denise invited my family to come up and hang out at their farm as well. You know, so that would be fun. Give her a visit and pet her animals. Play some
See
of their
the
arcade
llamas.
machines.
Yeah.
Although the arcade machines may be off limits. You know, he'd be like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "They're not for play. No,
They're not for
touch
you.
those. Only I am allowed to play them." But they're not. I think it'd be fun to get up there. It might be a good summer thing next year.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah, but yeah,
Do it.
Baltimore. We've talked about I think Orson is running lower on stuff to sell anymore. You know, it's so much more now just his getting collections. We talked about we might pull together even more, like officially.
He reached out to me and already asked if I wanted a table, so we're gonna work that out. And
It would be awesome if we had just like fucking like we had like a TF source row. You know what I mean? Of like this is
TFYLP.
us.
Yeah.
The TFYLP
Captured
row.
robe of Destron.
The captured fucking robe of Destron. But yeah, it's cool. You gonna come, Lucas? Phil?
I'm gonna try.
God damn it, Lucas. That is not the response.
that's the wrong response. That's the bad one.
My wife asked me today about like vacation time for next year because she's got to like set all of hers up in November for the following year. I'm like, Babe, I just got back from 2 trips. I don't know. Like, just let me get accustomed to this time zone, for God's sakes.
I'm going to be in Tennessee in January, in Nashville, to tear down the site that I built 5 years ago.
Are you going to have any free time?
I'm hoping so. I'm going to make some. They're going to be like, we should all go out and we should all go do this. And I got plans.
Yeah, guys, we should go hang out. There's this really cool like toy museum in Spring Hill.
Yes.
None of y'all are allowed to come in though. So,
stay outside. It's fine.
I'll be in there for a few
like, yeah, I got real friends, not you work friend people. Bye bye.
Actual friends.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun. Keep me advised.
Yeah, I will. Rick says we need to come up with new topics for because I had a really good time working with Rick on the thing, and he's going to send me the actual copy of the panel, and we're going to post that to YouTube, and then I'm going to re-narrate my slides and make a clean non-show version
where you can actually hear you then instead of like echoey nonsense.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Are you
because I didn't get out to see your show because I didn't leave the room. I wanted to go, but it's hard to get away from the dealer room, man.
Black Arachnia and Girl were there. Rick and I were hosting, and I don't think anyone else from the crew actually made it to my panel. And I cried and died on the inside.
We were stuck at the table. We were stuck at the table.
No, you were at the table, Phil. You saved the day.
I was a bitch.
But yeah, and I appreciate that. So no one had to see me fall on my face with my technical snafus. It was fun. So anyway,
I really wanted to go, but if you've never ran a table before, it's hard to leave. You know, like yes, you can, but you're asking other people to cover for you. And what's going to happen is somebody's going to come up and try to buy something. They'll be like, "Well, that's actually so and so's. I don't know if I can discount it that much."
And then you lose the sale altogether.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating. And we're all in there sharing the space to help each other and cover for one another, but you don't really want to do it for an hour. Stuff piles up too much in an hour, you know.
Right.
And sometimes you can't leave the space because your legs are just locked in one position that don't allow you to move.
Yeah, we were stuck. I mean, like you were saying, we were stuck at the table. It was hard to get away for a pee break. It was hard to get away to like just refill the water jug sort of stuff.
And there was 3 of us at that
or
table
empty it
consistently.
Yeah, there were 3 of us at our table, and it was wild. All 3 of us were getting bombarded constantly. It was great.
So, yeah.
So now we're going to talk about Bumblebee movie concept, Megatron, Starscream, Voyager class, Junkion, Scrap Heap.
We're very late. We need to let Peter get to bed.
Right.
Predacon, Scorponok Deluxe, Core class, the Last Night Mohawk, and Core class Bumblebee concept Rumble. Right?
They all look like shit. All right, so
Serge loves them.
Case in point.
No, I just think it's funny because like Anna keeps bringing it up to Christian. You're like, "What do you think, Christian?" He's like, "I think it looks like shit." And then like a couple days later, it's like, like I've seen some more pictures of this. Like it looks kind of cool. And like Christian's like, still looks like shit.
So
yeah.
Ultimately, on the third party panel, we keep seeing new people pop up doing new things, but they don't seem to stick around.
Yeah,
we've definitely whittled down to there's a couple companies doing Legends, there's a couple companies doing Masterpiece, and then Fans Hobby doing some sort of Masterpiece scale but their own design. Yeah. For me, like the Primus is tempting me. I'll probably end up buying both Fans Toys and XTB's Devastators, just one of them in G1 colors and one of them in G2 colors, and I don't know which one's going to be which. And I want to figure out which one ends up being the better toy. Or you know what? Maybe I'll get them both G1 and one of them looks better combined and one looks better in robot modes, and I'll display them both that way because that's fun. That's fun too.
That's typically how I do it. Is I buy 2 different companies worth, and one goes up in Gestalt mode and one of them stays in individual bot modes. I'm happy to carry that forward with whatever else comes out.
MMC's looks bad. Maybe. But they like to do G2 repaints as well. At least they did of their Minosaur. So if that one comes in a wacky recolor, that might be fun.
You know what one of these companies needs to do is freaking Diaclone colors. Just do the Diaclone deco.
X-Transbots does that, man.
They will eventually, and I'm sure they're, if anyone's going to do it, they're going to do it first. Yeah. But of all the Devastators, of all the Devastators we've gotten, all of them, none of these companies have done, not even Hasbro, no one's done a Diaclone deco, which is just baffling to me.
The knockoff companies have or something like it. Kinda. Do you remember my trash G1 knockoff Devastator I picked up a few years ago by chance?
Maybe.
It's Diaclone-ish.
No, I don't mean the G1 ones. I mean like all these Masterpiece guys they've done. Yeah, I remember that one.
That's what. But you mean in like a scheme like this?
Right? The Walgreens. That's the Walgreens one, I think.
I don't know. It's hot garbage. The plastic quality honestly is better than you would think. It's better than I thought it would be. But and pieces are falling because it's even good G1 Devastator fucking falls apart. So I love this toy, but I hate this mold. It is so bad. I am torn, but yeah. But the original Diaclone Devastator is like what? It's like orange, yellow, and red only. Like I don't think they have blue or purple in them, do they?
No.
But yeah. Hopefully one day.
But yeah, Lucas, to your question earlier, I'm going to post the panel. I'm going to give it to you for TFYLP. We'll post it here, and then for my stuff, I'm going to break it up by series: Beast Wars US, Beast Wars Japan, Beast Wars Second, Beast Wars Special, Beast Wars Neo, Beast Wars Medals, Toei Anime Fair, Beast Wars Returns, Beast Wars Telemoka, and Beast Wars again. And Beast Wars Reborn, but that's only one piece. But I've got merch for every one of those series.
Awesome.
So
that's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing it since I didn't get to the panel.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing all that. I always enjoy your stuff.
Thank you. Tell Rick to email me the files because I've been asking for days. He's like, yeah, I'll get it. He hooked me up though. He really hooked me up this past weekend.
He dressed up as Beetlejuice for Halloween, so maybe if you say his name 3 times, he'll just appear and give it to you.
Maybe.
I was gonna make the same joke, and I was like, nah, I'll skip it. And Phil got me covered.
Yeah.
So anybody else buying anything they saw on the third-party panel?
I'm gonna buy a lot of it. No. I'm gonna buy. I'm definitely interested in one of the Devastators. I don't know which one. The MMC one interests me the least. Vans Toys, I have no faith that they're gonna do anything in a timely manner, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because they do have high quality stuff that I do enjoy largely.
Except Powerglide.
Except Powerglide, who I don't have yet, but I just picked up Parkour and Gears.
Gears
Variator.
is really good.
Yeah.
I really like Gears.
I'm gonna keep going with because I already have First Aid, but I've got to get Hot Shot to shout out to Ron. I'm gonna get Hotspot and
shout outs.
Shout outs. This economy, and yeah, I don't know. I like the Perfection series all in one 5-member combiners. I'm interested to see that continue, and I'm definitely getting the Omnibots as they continue to come out. So from XTB.
You gonna get any of their wacky repaints of all of them, or just the mains?
I reached out to Jason Bren, Get Right Robot, because my personal avatar is that downshift mold, but in like a dark gray, but all the inside robot bits are purple. So I want that to be painted, but he doesn't respond to messages or when you like tag him and stuff. So I don't know if I've been blacklisted or if he's just really busy. I'd like to take it personally because that's what I do. So.
With that?
Huh?
Can Ryan help you with that at all?
Probably. When I get closer to it, as the figure gets closer to actual production, I will lean harder into that. But yeah.
There'll probably even be some repaint of it that'll be closer as a good starting point.
Yep.
What about you, Lucas?
No, I'm probably not gonna get any of this stuff. So, hey, I can appreciate it all from afar.
Yeah.
I think if anything, I'd probably get the Iron Factory stuff. So like their stuff. I think those little Dinobots from Kang Toys or whatever too. Like if the Legend
They ain't
Scale
little.
one, the Legend Scale one versions like that. That's probably what I would get if I was gonna get anything. But yeah, I'm good, man. Like Hasbro releases a metric fuck ton of product, so I feel like I spend enough of my money on that. So
It's funny, people say, well, I don't buy third party, it's just so expensive. I spend way less than mainline collectors these days.
right.
Like, yeah, per figure, sure, I spend more, but my figures don't come out often. They come out honestly too infrequently. But what about you, Phil?
Yeah, the XTB Omnibots started down that path and will continue down it. I hope their Devastator looks good because I might grab that. The Combiner Wars has been my Devastator for a while, and
I like that one.
It's not bad. It's fun.
What it is.
I kind of like to have it so that my sons can play with it more. I got a 3.5-year-old who is like, construction vehicles, heck yeah, i.e. Mud Flap that Peter hooked me up with. He's in love with that dude.
No, he's put his dick into it. You're not listening. We have a problem. We're having to go to a lot of doctors and therapists.
We have had it. We're like somewhat trying to shame him of like, oh, Rona, no, you got penis hands. You gotta go wash your hands. We don't want to hug you. You were just touching your penis. You gotta go wash your hands before you give us a hug now. Like it's like, you gotta touch yourself. That's fine. Just go wash your hands before you give us a hug and like want help prepare dinner. He's 3.5. And the fans toys, the new set of cassettes. I want to grab those.
Definitely get the cassettes.
Yeah. I mean, robot dinosaurs. Yeah. Pardon me.
So I do.
If I get the Primus, I'll let y'all know how it is.
Yeah, no, I think that like if they release him in like the original colors, or like in the toy colors, I guess I should say, that's tempting. But I do want to give a shout out to anyone who's still listening to the show at this point. Over 2 hours in, this is.
We ended up talking a lot about how the TFcon dealer floor went.
Yeah.
Which is fun to talk about. It's not in the title, but
TFcon was fun, you guys. You should go to Baltimore. If you haven't been to TFcon, grab a friend, road trip that thing, fly in, make a point to, if you haven't been to TFcon, get to TFcon, whether it's LA, Toronto, Baltimore. It's a great time. You're going to meet some great people. You're going to see some great toys. You're going to see some voice talent and creative talent, and you're going to have a really good time.
There are a lot of good people there.
A lot of good people.
David Sobolov and Gary Chalk, Aaron Archer, who I got a text message from today.
Really?
Yeah. He was he was drawing art on Unicron Trilogy instructions of the character and selling that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I had a box of instructions with a big arrow written on them from just excess stuff. And Serge and Christian were at my table and they're like, do you care if we give this to Aaron Archer? And I'm like, no, it'd be awesome. I'm literally giving it away. He gave it to Aaron Archer, who was able to use some of the stuff in there to sell, to draw on it and sell or whatever. And then he's just like, hey, I want to give you something. And so, yeah, I gave him my contact information and ultimately I'm like, man, whatever you think it looks cool and fun to draw, I'm happy with. I was like, here's some things that I like if you need inspiration, but ultimately whatever you make, I'm going to love it. So I already love it.
You just wrote the word boobs on a piece of paper 20 times.
He's like, what's your cell phone number? 80085. I was going to do it backwards at first. We got to flip it,
Yeah.
Hey, Catherine's still listening.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Zaldron did mention Anime Academy is Sunday night 8:30 Central on the Discord. Apparently, let's see what are Super God Master Force episodes 41 and 42.
It's the end. It's the end
very
plus super
end.
secrets. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's the final battle. I wasn't sure, whatever. And then yeah. So
Do we need to start our victory show like right now so that they can't supersede us?
I guess so. They're not going to watch us anyway because we're not on the Cool Kid Discord thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm technically in it. I'm also technically in a bunch of other Discords, and I never look at any of them.
Technically in Discord, and I log in, and every time I log in, someone goes, "Hey, it's Peter," and then I log out and forget that I have Discord for 3 months.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Anyway. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for joining me. It was a lot of fun tonight. Thanks to everyone in the chat. It may be a while, I guess, since we did a Monday show this week. We'll see what we do next week. So appreciate everyone keeping up with the show jumping around here, but schedules are tough. So
don't eat any candies that have razor blades in them,
or any 15-year-old Revenge of the Fallen candy that you might have purchased at a convention.
These are pro tips.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good Halloween.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.